Hey everyone, thanks for learning to play games. My name is Lance, and in today's video I'm going to be playing through the first session in a campaign for Elder Scrolls. This is a brand new game from Chip Theory Games. It is a 1 to 4 player game that takes roughly 1 to 2 hours per session, and is a fully cooperative game where all the players are working together to complete a 3-session campaign and hopefully find out some secrets of what's going on in the world. So in this video, I'm going to be playing through the very first session, and I'm going to try to guide you through this as I go through. Now, I do have to say that this is a very complicated game. It is a lot of fun, but it is a very complicated game, and I am working with a pre-production copy. So Chip Theory was nice enough to give me a pre-production copy as they are getting some of this stuff out, and I am working on a full teaching video for this, which I'm going to be breaking into 2 different parts. I'm going to have one video that will cover the character creation and a lot of the different components around that. And then I'm going to have a separate video that is going to teach you how to play the game. And I'm working on those currently, and I wanted to get something up for this. So I'm going to do this playthrough, and I'll try to explain some of it as I go along as well. And I will do my best to get the rules as accurately as possible. But let me know in the comments down below if you notice anything that I get wrong, or things that I could do better, or different strategies that I can employ in future games. I love hearing from you and starting a conversation. As always, if you find my videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe to my channel. It's one of the easiest ways you can support channels like mine so we continue to grow, build and produce this content. If you want to get notifications anytime I drop new videos, including those teaching videos, hit that notification bell, and that'll let you know whenever I drop new stuff. So let's go ahead and head to the table. We'll see how this one plays. So before getting into the game, I do have a couple of additional things I have to handle for setup. And I want to talk about some of the stuff that I've selected for this one. So in the game, I'm going to be playing 2 different characters, and I've created both of these. And the first one is a Nord, and for the class, I have chosen Knight. And I also took the one-hand and shield skill line for that one, as I want that character to be more of a offensive/defensive character that can really dish out hopefully some good pain, but also be able to absorb some of that damage. As my second character is a High Elf, and with the High Elf, I want to focus more on ranged attacks, as well as healing and being able to support my main character. So with the High Elf, I selected the bow as my secondary class, and I do need to get a card for that. So let me pull that real quick. There we go. All right. And so I have that set up, and unfortunately, the High Elf is also very good at magic at 4, so I don't know what I'm going to be able to get for that, as it doesn't really go with what I'm focusing on, but I do want to get some healing magic, and so that is going to be a big thing for that. All right, so with this one, I've selected the Black Marsh, but I am going to be playing a different scenario than you will find in the rulebook. That way then, if you're using the rulebook and you need to see some additional content around it, and that the examples don't provide, this will hopefully be a resource for that. So with that being in mind, I went ahead and selected the Mages Guild as the guild of my choice. And so with that, let me go ahead and grab the Gazetter. And so first things first, let's go over the map. So with the map, there are some overland mechanics. There is a weather gauge with this one. And so some of the time it's going to be sunny or rainy or flooded, and that's going to have different impacts on both my ability to move my party around the map, as well as other effects that are going to be generated throughout the map. So during the first day, we're going to go ahead and start on sunny, and that is going to allow my party's base movement, overland movement, to be 3. Now, as the other conditions come into effect, that's going to reduce the abilities of my characters to move around. So that is that. So with the gauge of the Mages Guild, we go over to the guilds, and that is the unnatural selection. So that is the one that I'm going to be playing. So the session snapshot is that I'm going to chase down 3 different packs of beasts fighting a clash against each. So with that, it says the Mages Guild requires a hale and hardy adventurers to travel Black Marsh and take down dangerous beasts. And you've answered the call. Over the last few weeks, strange beasts with glowing eyes, frothing mouths, and alarming extra appendages have been sighted all over the region. Even normally docile beasts have been making unprovoked attacks on the populace. The Mages Guild suspects an anomalous creatures are magically modified in some way. The group has tasked you with tracking down some of these beasts to retrieve samples for analysis. Reports indicate the beasts appear to be calmed by a combination of rare black marsh plant elements. Perhaps the construction of a Roma burner using these regions might make sample collection simpler. All right, so I'm going to be starting in Lilmoth as the town. And my special setup instructions, I'm going to place a marker, an objective marker, token on the stone wastes, which is over here. And this represents the tainted animals. I'm going to set aside the quest unit, the corrupted creature. So I have that here. So I'm going to place that off to the side here for the time being. And the quest objectives are to travel to the tainted animals and initiate the following clash recommended by day 4. The first enemy deployed must be with the little crab arm. I can't remember what that one is. After deploying all units, roll 1d6 and apply the blow effect that corresponds with the result. If there is a mage or a ranger or a warden adventurer in the party, you may choose the result instead of rolling, which I am not playing one of those 3 classes, so this will be a randomized event or effect that is going to come into play. And it says, before the clash, if an adventurer has the Blight Throat Paltris, then they may discard it, and if they do so, this encounter is an automatic success. And then there are ongoing side effects. So during the active province effects step, I'm going to roll a d6 to determine the direction the tainted animals move. The number of hexes they move is outlined in the Overland mechanics section. Match the rolled result with the map's compass, the tainted animals, and the party token may occupy the same hex. All right, and so that is my goal with this first scenario, or this first part of the scenario. And with the Mages Guild, I have an ability when I go to the guild hall, and this one says that your guild kiosk town action, discard a potion or I can't remember the other item that little stars is, item to train any magic type skill line from the trainer bag. So that could be helpful, especially if I don't draw that healing one that I really want. That could be a way to be able to get that. All right, so other than that, my characters are ready to go. And we're ready to move into the first day. So I have my tracker here, and there are going to be 5 phases in each day that you're going to conduct in order. And I do have a little cheat sheet for those, as there is a lot of different information there to go along with that. So first off, the first thing you're going to do during the day is to adjust the counter. So on day 1, you're on day 1, so I don't have to adjust it at this point. But otherwise, in the next days coming, then I'm going to be making those adjustments. From there, then I'm going to move into the next step. Now, during the very first day in a campaign, you automatically have to do the town encounter of the town that you're starting in. So I don't have the choice. I can't move and do other things, so I have to handle that. So I'm going to go to the Gazetter to handle that next step, as the second step in the phase is going to be the Overland phase, where you're going to determine where you're moving, and then based on the location you go, it's going to trigger or have a trigger effect if there's an icon there, and then you're going to resolve that during the encounter phase. With this one that I'm in the town already, I have to resolve that, and so I'm going to move straight to that encounter phase and handle that. So I'm in Lilmoth. And with this, it is known as the Festering Jewel of the Mirror. Lilmoth is a city of opportunity and danger, a place to make one's fortune and potentially lose it to the criminals that run unchecked through its streets. Despite its unsavory elements, it is a beautiful old city that frequently charms its visitors. Cryodilic Collections, an organization that collects Aragornian artifacts, is attempting to fund a museum here. So I have Uli's Bay Tradeways. When the adventurer takes a shop town action, they may gain 2 items instead of 1. So that is what's going on in town, and that's the event or effect that this town has. So from there, then I have to set up the town real quick. So I'm going to start off with my shop. So I'm going to draw 6 common items and no legendary items to populate this shop. So let me put those out. So I have a short bow, I have a wolf pelt, sweet roll, LeTourneau and Jack, and all right, so some decent stuff here. Okay, that could be really helpful. All right, next, the trainer is going to draw 5 starting skill lines, and those are from all 3 constellations, so none of them will be returned to the bag, which is nice. So let's see what comes out of here. All right, so first, all right, we have the helmets. Next is stealth and speech. Lots of yellow so far. All right, bow. And finally, last one is acrobatics. Okay. All right. And those are the 2 things that I have to set up. So from there, then it goes into the players. So each player is going to get to take 2 actions in the town. And they can either be to go to the shop, to train and pick up a skill line, to be able to go and get a quest, to go to the guild kiosk and resolve that effect, to go to the town square, or to be able to go to the alchemy station if they had any potions that they've used that they want to refill. All right, so unfortunately with the town square, if I had a legendary item, I could, during today's reward phase, I could gain a bonus. If I discard it, I can gain a bonus XP. Unfortunately, I don't have any, and they don't sell them for that particular reason, I'm sure. All right, so starting off with my high elf, I don't have the particular skill I was hoping for. I was hoping for that healing skill, but I think I will take an action to gain the acrobatic skill, as I think that might be handy, especially if I'm going for more of a ranged kind of combatant. So I'm going to go ahead and gain the acrobatic skill line. Okay, that was his first action. As his second action, it might be worth going to the shop and picking up some items here. So let's see here. So I do have, there is a short bow here, so it lets me gain a tenacity when you engage a target 2 hexes away. So that could be good. And the bonus with this town is I gain 2 items from the shop instead of normally just the 1. So that could be also very helpful. The wolf pelt, when you would gain a status die, if you are in magic, you may choose to gain 1 light fatigue instead of the status die. Wow, those are both pretty good. Sweet roll, discard this item. Then adventurers may recover a collective total of up to 4 dice from their cooldown tracks. I have the Jack. Recover 1 combat skill die. Okay, so that'll be great for him. And then I have this glyph here, which is enchants the delve deck. Each time a delve card is drawn, the party may draw an additional card, choose 1 to keep, and put the other on the bottom of the deck. The next time a delve encounter ends, discard this enchantment. Okay, and then finally I have the bright throat. That's that thing I needed. Okay, so I think with the high elf, I'm going to go ahead and take that short bow, as I'm working with the ranged combatant or ranged options here. And I think I will take that, as that will really help with that first encounter there. And I'll put this one in my backpack, and this one will be in one of my ready slots here. So I'll just place that there for now. All right, so over to the Nord to go next. The Nord, I think, is also going to go to the shop and pick up this armor here, and I think I'll grab that pelt as well. The food would be good. I mean, all of these are really good, but I think these 2 might actually be pretty helpful. So then these will be just discarded. So I'll add those to the back here, and I'll place these back, as I'm not going to do that as my second option. As my second option, I'm going to go to the quest board, as one of the conditions for my knight to upgrade it is to complete 2 side quests with your party in a single session. So I would like to try to get the knights over to the master side, as that is going to really help overall. So I'm going to go ahead and draw 2 side quests, and I get to choose one of those to go on, and the other one will just be discarded. All right, so the first one is the power of teamwork. A somber wood elf informs you that she is looking for new members to join a local group of guardians dedicated to defending the innocent. All members must show that they believe in the power of teamwork, she says. The trees live in harmony, and so must we. All right, so if the party token is 1, and you have no current companions, level 5 Wood Elf Marauder becomes a companion controlled by the party during your next clash. During your next clash, your party member who defeats an enemy cannot defeat another enemy until a different party member has defeated an enemy. Enemies that would be defeated instead remain at 1 health. If this encounter is failed, discard this quest. If this encounter is successful, complete this quest, and each adventurer gains 3 tenacity. Gain keyword, speak for the trees. If you are currently in Valen Wood, also gain the keyword resistance. After completing this quest, set it aside. You may now discard it while in town to give each adventurer a free in-town action if the town has an inn. If the side quest is discarded while the Wood Elf Marauder is in battle, it becomes an enemy. Ooh. So the first thing, I'm not 100% sure what that means. So if your party icon is 1, not sure what that is. All right, so let's see what the other one is, and so I'll have to choose. So a fan's adornment. A fanatic individual runs up to you, has overwhelming energy demanding your attention. By a cautious grace, it's you. You try to go about your day, but you can't seem to escape this conversation until you say what he wants to hear. If it is currently session 1, the fan realizes he has mistaken you for someone important. Discard this quest and draw a new one. Okay, so I am not important enough yet for that one. Okay, so I have a marathon session. At a local watering hole, a drunken Nord shows off his latest scar, which he claims was earned in a 5-hour bout with an oversized Hagriven. I've bet no one else in this stinking city has the endurance to stand for that long against an enemy, he slurs. So 1 to 2 players during your next clash that includes at least 1 level 10 enemy, defeat a level 10 enemy in round 5 or later. And if it's 3 to 4 players, it's something different. So if you defeat all enemies prior to round 5, or if the clash is failed, discard this quest. If the quest is successful, you complete the quest objective, complete this quest and gain 1 experience, then set this quest aside. You may now discard it while in town lets each adventurer choose either to gain 2 tenacity or a weapon or armor from the shop. That actually sounds pretty good, so I think I'm going to go with that one and choose that. Now, as part of that, my Knight's ability says that after the party gains a side quest, I heal to full health, which I'm already at full health, but I also gain 3 tenacity, so that will help get me started on being able to do some stuff with that. All right, and that is all of the town actions that I can do, as both of my characters have done their 2 town actions. And I'm just going to place these underneath his board right now because this is pretty much full up, so you may not be able to see the items that he has active, but that's all right. I'll explain those as I use them. So from there, then you would go into the rewards phase where you can untrain certain things. So with the Nord, I really do not want to use magic, so I'm going to go ahead and untrain his magic ability. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the tokens from that and the skill line itself so that I can use that for something else or simply use it as for more dice for my combat line. Now from there, then I could also spend, if I have experience, which I don't currently, or do other things such as trading and whatnot, but I don't think there's anything else there that I want to do. So then the final step is the end of the day. So with that, you are first going to activate any Providence effects. So with that, I do have that weather gauge that I have to handle. So I'm going to reveal the first peaceful card in the set and resolve the effect on the bottom of the card, which is going to be a flood condition. Oh no. All right. And so then this is simply going to be discarded to the back of the row. Now with the flooded condition, I also have to handle the other effects here. And I do have that token out there, so I'm going to have to roll for that. And it's a 3. So based on the 3, it's going to move 1 space this way, as the flood conditions move each of the flag tokens 1 hex towards their destination. All right, so that was that. And with the flood conditions, I have a maximum movement of 2 spaces. And instead of when gaining fatigue to continue overland movement, adventurers have to gain over fatigue instead of light fatigue to continue on. All right, and I'll go over what that means next. Okay, so that is the end of the day. There aren't any other effects to handle at this point, so I'm moving on to day 2. So again, I'm going to go ahead and turn that dial to day 2. And then I am going to be able to move at this point. So I can only move 2 spaces. Now, after moving 2 spaces, if I want to move additional spaces, I can normally take light fatigue as a group. So each player would have to take a light fatigue per point of movement I want to spend. With the flooded condition, that means that I have to take over fatigue, which is really bad. You don't want to take that if you don't have to normally, as it is hard to get rid of it. You have to go and visit an inn, and then there's a couple of other ways to get rid of it, but it's not easy to get rid of. So it's not something that I want to start getting early on in the game. So I'm going to go ahead and move. I have a couple of choices. I could move into this town here if I wanted to do another town action. I could go here and do a peaceful action, or I could simply move into a empty space and not have something to resolve. But I do want to do some of that stuff, as that is one of the ways to get experience. So I'm going to go ahead and try my luck and go here. So with that, that is going to handle my overland phase step. From there, then I'm going to go into the encounter phase, where I'm going to resolve whatever that location is. So that is a peaceful location. So I'm going to draw a peaceful card, and this says Hunt or Gather. You come across a wrecked caravan. Looted containers are strewn about, and there are a number of corpses. It's too late to help any of these people now, but you realize you can still gain a pragmatic advantage from those poor souls' misfortune. There is likely something salvageable remaining among the wreckage, if only you slow down to look for it. On the other hand, a careful study of the tracks leading away from the scene could yield valuable intelligence about what kinds of foes lie in wait down the trail. All right, so I have a couple of options here. I can salvage what you can, which is going to get me 1 experience point. This is also going to have each adventurer may pick a number between 1 and 5 and then roll a d6. If the rolled result is higher than the number selected, they may draw items equal to the number they picked, choosing 1 to gain and discarding the rest. Or I can choose to survey the tracks. This one lets me draw a random enemy from the level 1 to 5 bag and place it in the level 10 to 20 bag. And then there is a persistent effect. If this enemy is drawn, it deploys on its level 5 side and is treated as a level 10, 20 enemy for the purpose of calculating remaining EP. At the end of the battle in which this unit is deployed, it returns to level 1-5 bag, and then discard this card. So that could be really helpful, as later on in the higher point battles, if that is drawn, that is going to be considerably easier to deal with than a level 10 or level 20 enemy. So that could be very helpful, but also gaining items early could also be really nice for the party. Either way, I'm going to get an experience point for that, so that's a good thing. So I think I'm going to take the early advantage and do that. So starting with the high elf, I have to choose a number from 1 to 5, and then I'm going to roll a d6. If the rolled result is higher than the number selected, you may draw from the bag. So I think I'm going to just say 2. So I need a 3 or higher. And I rolled a 2, so he doesn't get anything. And then the Nord, I'm going to go with 3. And he rolled a 4, so he does get to do that. So he's going to draw... let's see. If rolled result is higher than the number selected, you may draw equal to the number they picked. All right, so I'm going to get 3, and I get to choose one of those items to gain. All right, so I have the Druidic Knucklebones. During a town encounter, shuffle this item into the common deck and draw a legendary. That's pretty nice. I have the Rat Skewer Bow. For this engage, you may target adjacent enemies. Okay. Or I have the Way Shrine map. After rolling an unstable die, you may re-roll the die 1 time. After re-rolling, you may discard this item to instead set the die to the side of your choice. All 3 of those are pretty decent, but those Knucklebones sound really good. So I think I'm going to take those. Now I'll just place that in my backpack. And then these are discarded. All right. So then I'm going to move into the reward phase. So during the reward phase, first I can untrain anything. I don't want to do that. I am going to gain an experience point for each character. And I can choose to spend those if I want to. So I could pick up an item or a die from the stuff here. Let's see. What do I want to do? Or the question is, do I want to do that, or do I just want to hold on to the experience point for now? I think at this point I might just hold on to it. Yeah, I think I'm going to hold on to it there. I will spend it with this character, as I do want to pick up another health. So now I'm going to have 5 health. And so I'll automatically add that right away. And it was only 1 point to upgrade the health at this end, because I'm going to use the white, the top part, to determine the number of experience points I have to spend for that. Okay, so that is taking care of that. So that is everything that I have to do in the reward phase. There is one phase that I did skip last time, is the end of day phase, where you do get to remove dice from your cooldown track and heal and all that, but I don't have any dice in my cooldown track, and I also didn't take any damage yet, so it wasn't anything bad, but I do want to just kind of put that out there so that you're aware that that is also something that happens during that phase. All right, so again, at this point, I've handled all the different stuff for my reward phase. So now I'm moving into the end of day phase. So first off, I have to handle this. So with the peaceful encounter that I had, it is going to stay on the flooded condition. The rain is, we must have been decided to start this quest on a rainy season here. And then I am going to roll the die again to determine where that tainted animal goes. So it's 3 again. So it is moving towards me though. So that's a plus. And that is it. So then this is simply going to be discarded, as I've resolved all of that. And then again, our characters could remove a die from their cooldown track and heal. Now, there are levels of difficulty for this, and I have chosen to play the medium difficulty, which means that I can remove 1 die from the cooldown track and heal 1 health for my characters during this end of day phase. And it's kind of the mid track. So there is an expert level that's harder, and then there is an early or a basic one that is easier for players. Okay, so moving into day 3 now. I've upped that, and now I'm over to the Overland phase. So I have a couple choices. I could go up here to the unstable icon, which would allow me, or have me roll the unstable die to randomly determine what is coming up. I could go into a combat round where I'm going to be facing off against a conflict encounter. So I don't know what would happen with that, but that could be interesting as well. Or I could take that over fatigue and continue moving. So let's keep things interesting. I think I'm going to do the conflict and see what happens there. All right, so then I'm going to draw a conflict. And this one, keep allied on it. So allied ruins are rare finds indeed, but especially so in the bogs of Black Marsh, and yet it seems you have stumbled upon one all the same. The entrance is blocked by some rubble with a note left behind. Be warned, any who think to enter disturbing the forbidden ruins of Black Marsh can uncover unspeakable dangers. Look under the rocks. All right, so this is a conflict. A simple look won't hurt. It is going to get me 2 experience points if I can complete it. And for this clash, use the 3 hex and the 17 hex tiles instead of the clash tile. All right, so 17. Okay, so I'm going to need the big one here. So there's that. Oh, I forgot to increase my party's EP limit. As I did get that 1 experience point, I forgot to do that, so I'm doing that now. All right, so I was able to check on this a little bit more, So that the little head symbol, it represents my party, the number of players that are playing. So this is going to be 2. So it says deploy only 2 enemies and 2 plus 1 caches. I'm going to be deploying 3 caches. And then it says for every 5 points remaining on the EP after deploying enemies, I'm going to add 1 HP to all enemies. Max HP may exceed the HP stat. And caches are not discarded when the lockpick check is failed. The defense stat of all enemies is equal to the number of caches on the battle mat. And the weather, if the weather is flooding, you cannot retreat from this battle. So it is flooding, so I either will make it through this or I'm going to be eliminated completely. So right now, my value is 3 on my gauge, and I'm going to multiply that by my party size, so it's going to be an AP of 6. So I'm going to be drawing 2 enemies from the bag. One of them is going to be a 5-point enemy, and one will be a 1-point enemy. All right, so with the first enemy, that will be my 5-pointer, and it is a Screever. All right, so not terrible, and he's going to have 5 health. Okay, and then the second one, which is going to be the 1-point enemy, is going to be Bandit. And this one has 3 HP. And, all right, and they have abilities. I'm going to have to go over those. And then I do have the 3 caches out there as well. I would assume that those are going to be the ones that are going to start on the big thing, and then if I had extras, that they go out there. So I should have a cache there, a cache here, and a cache here. All right. From there, then, my players are going to deploy. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and put the Nord out there. And so at this point, it's almost more of a defense that I'm going on so that I can get to these caches. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard to get past these guys' defense. All right, and then the High Elf. High Elf, might as well go there as well. Okay. And I have to choose who's going to go first, so I think I will start with my Nord to go first. All right, and with his abilities, so he has the Knight. So after the party, all right, so that's his thing, and then he has Honor Duel. If there's only 1 enemy within 3 hexes of yield, deal 3 damage to that enemy. There is actually only 1 enemy within 3 hexes, so that's pretty darn good. Remove a status die from your cooldown track and apply it to non-quest enemies within 2 hexes of you. We have the Order's Edict. So this is an interrupt at the start of any unit's turn. Choose any enemy in play. For the rest of the turn, each engaged targeting this enemy deals 1 additional damage. I have the Sworn Oath. After you defeat an enemy, heal 4 HP. And then finally we have the Oathbreaker's Charge. Discard 1 of the party's active side quests and deal 10 damage to an adjacent non-quest enemy. Okay. Alright, so I could start with that Honor Duel. That is pretty good. There's only 1 enemy within 3 hexes. 1, 2, 3. The other one is 4 away. That would be a pretty good start. But I think I am going to go ahead and I think I'm going to go after these caches right away here. So I will move up 1, 2, as my movement value is based on my stamina, so I can move up to 2 spaces. All right, so from there, and I do want to point out, so that's for complete sake here. So during an adventure's turn, there's a number of steps you're going to go through. So the first step would be to handle any beginning of turn effects. If there are any conditions or statuses or anything like that that you would trigger, you would handle it at that point. Next, you're going to remove a number of dice from your cooldown track based on your cooldown stat. And again, I don't have any dice in my cooldown tracks at this point, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I would move into spending or doing actions during my turn. Now I'm allowed to do one move action. I could do a second move action, but then I cannot do any engage actions. And in order to resolve a cache, I have to move on to the cache tile to be able to handle that. And unfortunately, I only have a movement of 2, so I would have to do another action to do that. But I don't think I really want to at this point, as I really do need to do an engage action to get some defense going here. So I'm going to switch over to defense for my combat, and I'm going to roll, let's see. So I do have these. So when you place this die in the active slot, deal X damage to your target. When you are dealt damage by an enemy, you may exhaust this die to prevent X damage. All right, so either way, it's only given me 2. So I think I'm just going to roll the combat dice for my defense. So I'm going to roll based on my stamina. I can roll up to that number of dice. So I have 2. And I got 2 successes. Each one of them is going to go in an active slot. And then when I get hit, I will remove those first to prevent some of that damage. Okay. All right, and then I don't think I really want to do anything else at the moment. I could activate a skill, but I don't think that I'm going to do that just yet. All right, so my turn is done. So now it's over to the high elf to go. And again, with the high elf, I can move up to 2. But I don't think that's going to be necessarily a great option either. And I don't have anything to remove, so I don't have to worry about that. So I could take a couple of shots and hope that I can pull something there. My ability, once per battle during your turn, place any adventure in an unoccupied entrance tile hex and heal 3. All right, at the start of your turn, you may gain 1 light fatigue to heal yourself or an adjacent party member for 1 HP. Okay, so I don't have to worry about any of that. So I could go on defense as well and do the same thing. I do have the 1 die, so it at least dropped by a little bit. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Just try to prevent a little bit of damage. 2, well, that was pretty good. And then I'm going to move to the opposite side. All right, and I think that's all I want to do at this point. I don't think there's really anything else to do due to the enemy's high defense at this point. I think it's more important to just kind of get ready for the brawl that's coming. All right, so then it's going to move into the enemy's turns, and you're going to start. I'll start with this 5-point enemy, and so there's a couple of abilities there. So let me go over those real quick. So we have Rot. So that says that after this unit is defeated by an adventure, that adventure gains 1 over fatigue. And Rush, if this unit cannot target an opposing unit after its movement, it moves a second time instead. Okay. And then the other one is Retreat for this other one here. And that is going to be, so at the end of this unit's turn, if no units took damage this turn, this unit gains a stealth status die and heals for 1 HP. At the end of this unit's turn, if no units took damage this turn. Okay, so it's going to gain a stealth status die and heals for 1 HP. Okay. Well, let's find out what happens here. So this guy's going to move here as he wants to be adjacent to the character that has the highest HP, and he's going to try to attack me. He's rolling 2 enemy combat dice. So let's see what he gets there. And he just got 1 success, so I'm going to remove 1 of these, and it's going to go into my cooldown track. And that is his turn. And then the other enemy is going to target up to 2 characters up to 3 spaces away. So 1, 2, 3, so it is within range of both characters. All right, so first one onto the High Elf is going to be 3 damage. So the High Elf will soak 2 and then take 1 damage. So I'm going to take 1 away. Okay. And then onto the Nord is going to be 2 as well. So Nord will take 1 wound as well for that. All right, so that little archer was pretty nasty there. All right, that is going to be the end of that round, as both of the enemies have gone and there's nothing else to handle. Now his retreat effect isn't going to come into play, it sounds like, because there was damage dealt. So at the end of this unit's turn, if no units took damage this turn, this unit gains a stealth status die and heals for 1 HP. So it says that if no units, so there were some units that did take damage, because I believe my characters are still classified as units. Hopefully. Well, I could give it the stealth status die, just in case. But let's see where things go here. Okay, so then it's going to be round 2. And is back over to my character's turns. So starting with the Nord, as he is the first player, he is going to, there aren't anything that he has to resolve at the beginning of his turn, and then the cooldown track he'll get to remove 2 dice from there and place them back in his area. And I am going to go ahead and move into that space. So I'm going to do a lockpick attempt to try to pick this lock. So I have 3 shots at this. I'm going to roll the 3 dice, and I need a 2, a 1, and a 1. Okay, so I've got a 1 and a 2. So then this one can be rolled up to 2 more times. Now I can spend or gain a light fatigue to alter this number up or down 1 point. So I'm looking for hopefully a lower number here to try to do that where I don't take a bunch of fatigue. 6, and my last roll is a 4. So I'd have to take 3 fatigue to lower that. I think that is going to be the thing I'm going to do, though, as I do want to start dropping their defense. So that will remove that token. And I found a Glyph of Frost. Enchants tile in play. All enemies that start to turn on this tile may only move 1 hex during their movement step. Discard this at the end of the battle. Okay. And that I'm just going to place in my backpack. All right, so I got to do that, and I'm just going to go ahead and move on over because I can keep going, and then I'm going to go ahead. Now, do I attack or do I go on defense again? Because he's still got 2 defense. One-handed. All right, so I think I will do the hand weapon shield ones because those can do damage and be played as defense. So it says when you place this die in an active slot to deal X damage to your target, when you are dealt damage by an enemy, you may exhaust this die to prevent X damage. All right, so if I am able to get 3 or more, I'm going to actually be able to do some damage here. And I did not. I only do 2, so he's going to block both of those, but I will get at least some defense out of this. Now the question is, do I want to... Is there anything else I want to do here? Okay. No, I think at this point I'm good with that. Now I could take a light fatigue to do another action. I could attack again if I wanted to, or whatnot, but oh, and I forgot I have to move this to attack, and I get to do that before I perform the action. All right, so that's going to be it for me, and then it's over to the High Elf to go. So the High Elf again is going to move into here, and he's going to try to do the same thing and lockpick this one. All right, so it's a 1, 1, and 6 this time. All right, so it's a 5, 4, 5. So I am going to gain 1 fatigue, I think, to bump that up right away. And then I'll reroll these 2. Alright, I will gain a fatigue for that one. Drop that to a 1. I got one more shot at this. It needs to be a low number. Alright, that works. Okay, and I get the Pale Frost Elk. So when you would gain any amount of fatigue, you may instead place 1 HP chip on this creature. And once there are 4 HP chips on this creature, discard it. Alright, so I'm just going to place him in an active slot. That could definitely come in handy. And so that removes that one now. So now the enemies are down to 1 defense apiece. So I could take some shots on that bandit there. I think that might be a good option. And I did forget to remove this at the beginning of his turn. So I should have done that. All right, so the question is, do I do that? Or do I go after... So with the bow, I get 2 shots. Okay. So it does say with the snipe dice that I deal X damage to your target and I get to ignore 1 defense on your target for this engagement, or engage. So it would technically have 0 defense. So yeah, let's do it. So I'm going to switch over to attacking with a range, and I'm going to roll my 2 dice here, and I'm going to do 3 damage to him. And with no defense, that is enough to take him out. So that archer has been eliminated. So that's good. Okay. And these will actually go into the exhaust. Okay. All right. So that was pretty good. All right. That is the end of my turn, as I don't really want to do anything else at the moment. So it is going to be over to the skeever. And Skeever is already adjacent to me, so it's simply going to attack me. And it's getting 2 attack dice. And it's doing 2 damage. And I will drop these 2 down to soak those 2 damage points. Okay. That is the end of its turn. So then it is going to crank that die up again. And back into my turn. So at the start of my turn, I don't have any effects to handle. Then these are going to be removed. And this is going to slide over. And with that, I am going to activate my armor. And this says that I get to recover 1 combat skill die. Oh, these are the combat skill dice. Never mind. So that is not going to help me at the moment. Okay. So the question is, I can either move and handle that hex. Yeah, I think so. I think that is my best option. Get that defense down all the way here. All right, so I'm going to go there. This is a 3-1-5. All right, so I have the 3. I will take a fatigue to bump the 1 up to a 5, or the 4 up to a 5. I just need a 1. I got 2 shots at this, so that's a 5, and my last roll is a 4. So I could take 3 fatigue to do it. Well, I will go ahead and do it. I think it'll be worth it, just to get that out of the way. So that'll drop it down to a 1. So that handles that. And it's another glyph of stamina recovery. Enchant round counter. After adventurers take fatigue damage during the start of a fatigue round, set the round counter to 4. The next time a battle ends, discard this. Okay. All right, so that is that. Okay. So So that'll remove that. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a defensive one and roll 2 dice for defense. All right, I got 2 1s. So those will go in there. All right, and then I'm going to spend one of my tenacity to do the honor duel. So this one says that if there's only one enemy within 3 hexes, you deal 3 damage to that enemy. And so that enemy is going to take 3 damage. Okay. I don't really have anything else at the moment that I want to do. I can't remember if I recovered, but all right, so that is going to be my turn. So it's over to the high elf next. So I don't have any effects to handle at the beginning of my turn, I don't think. So I'm going to remove those 2. These will slide over. And discard an item, then heal any party member for 3. 1 life fatigue to heal yourself or an adjacent party member. So I could heal myself, but I don't necessarily think it's worth that at the moment. So I think I'm just going to kind of move up there and yeah, I think I'm just going to hold there. I don't think there's really... Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else I want to do at this point. So I'm going to hold there. That's going to go to the enemy. He's gonna move here to be adjacent to me because I still have the most HP, and he's going to attack for 2. And he got 2 successes, so that's going to remove these 2. All right. Then it is round 4. Round 4. All right, so moving back over to my Nord, he's going to recover 2. So I get that back, and that gets removed. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my jacket to gain a combat die back. All right, and I mean, at this point, might as well just hit him. Or I could wait so that I don't add more dice to my fatigue and hope that the elf can finish him off. He's only got 2 hit points. I think that's what I will do. All right, so I'm going to move over to the high elf. So starting off, I get to recover. I'm going to move 1. So I need to be at least 2 away for that. With the short bow, I gain 1 tenacity when I engage a target 2 hexes away. I am 2 hexes away, so I'm going to gain 1. I can't remember with the other one. I believe I was. But I'm just going to... I'll just ignore it since I didn't catch that at the time. And then I'm going to go ahead and roll my 2. And I do 2 damage, which is just enough to take him out. So those will go on the cooldown track. And that's going to finish him off. So the high elf was the effective one. The other one was just the tar pit. All right, so that finishes off that clash. And I've gotten everything out of that. So, and I made it within the turns I needed. So I'm going to reset this. And that is going to end the encounter phase. So now I'm over to the reward phase. So each one of my players is going to gain 2 experience points. So he's at 3 and he's at 2. I am also going to up this by 2 for that. And I have nothing that I want to untrain. And there aren't any other rewards granted beyond handling this. So then I can spend points and do trades if I want to. So I am going to trade this one here. And I'll give this to the player over there. I don't think there's anything else I want to do at the moment with that. Okay. And then upgrades. So I have 2 points here if I want to upgrade anything. Stamina would be good, or cooldown track would be good. That one I need 3 points though. So I think I will spend the 2 to upgrade my stamina, so that I get a little bit more, or I can roll more dice and move farther and all that kind of stuff. Okay, on the other player's side, I have 3 points. I do have the acrobatics, so it's as well as ties in your cooldown track. You may move up to X hexes at the start of your turn. So give me a lot more movement. So yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll spend 1 for that. So that is going to be a yellow. And that's this one. Okay. And I think the other ones, do I want to hold off on those, or is there anything else that I want? The archer, it would have to be 2 XP, so I'd have to spend all of the rest of the XP that I have to get something else. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to hold off for spending that at the moment, because I do want to hold on to that for if I can get the other skill line. Okay, so I think I'm good there. So then it's going to be end of day phase. So first off, I have to activate the province effect. So with the weather, since I did a conflict one, I have to draw a peaceful one and just handle the icon at the bottom. So that is going to be rainy, so a little better. And this will just go right back into the back ends here. Okay. And then this can be discarded as well. So I've handled that. So then the enemy is going to move. So on a rainy condition, the enemy will move 3 hexes. All right, so let's see where it goes. It's going to go 4, so it's going down. So it's going to go right there. Okay, well, that works out in my favor for sure. And then I get to recover and heal. So each one of my characters gets 1 HP back, as they've both only taken 1 HP. That works out. So I'll get that back. And then I do get to recover 1 die in their different slots. Okay. And that is that. So it is on to day 4. All right, so day 4. I am moving into the Overland phase. So at this point, I have to choose what I want to do. So I could jump in and handle that encounter if I want to, and start moving on to the next part of this. I could visit town, as I do have a little bit of fatigue going on here. And rainy, I can still only move 2 spaces, but I'm not affected by the fatigue at the moment. So, I would love to jump in there and get that group out of the way, but going to town is actually pretty good too. Well, because I have that thing, so I get to handle that without the conflict. Because that is the correct one. Let me double check that before I decide to run in there and then find out that I do not have what I needed all along here. Okay, so it is the blight throat, or the bright throats poultice. And that is what I have. All right, so I got real lucky with that pull. Yeah, I think I probably should. So I'm going to go ahead and go there. and resolve that. All right, so since I'm handling that, I'm going to jump straight to that part. So then I go into the Gazette there. And all right, so I am going to discard that item. So I'll just remove that from the board, and that automatically completes that success. So before the clash, if the adventurer has that, they may discard it. If they do so, this encounter is an automatic success. So I'm going to get 2 experience points for that. And I'll upgrade this, or up this by 2 as well. So this guy's going to have 4 experience points. So I'm going to have to spend some of that. Okay. And then it says, when completed, go to entry B2. So B2. B2. All right, so this one is unnatural selection. A representative from the guild arrives on the site not long after you have vanquished your first batch of affected creatures. Fascinating, the High Elf remarks, holding up a strip of flesh. The corruption goes far beyond a disease of the mind. The beast's entire muscular has been affected. An unidentified viscous black liquid oozes down the sample. The mage frowns at it. I'll need to take this back to one of our halls for further study, he says. In the meantime, we'll be needing more samples for comparative research. Okay, so special setup instructions, place an icon. All right, so let's go ahead and remove that off of there. On the Alton Cormant, where is that at? That one is, whoa, all the way up there. Okay. And then the quest objectives: travel to the tainted animals and initiate the following clash recommended by day 8. The first enemy must be, okay, after deploying all units. Roll d6, so it's the same kind of thing. They're going to have additional effects from that. So if I would have held on to that thing, then I could have discarded it automatically for this one. So it's it kind of builds on it. So it depends on which one you wanted to drop. So I probably hurt myself in that fact that I should have probably just handled that first clash and dealt with it, but that's all right. We'll see what happens. All right, so this one's also worth 2 victory points. All right, so that is the end of that. So then it is going to move into the rewards phase. So during the rewards phase, again, we're going to get to spend our XP. So I have 2 with him. I think I just want to hold on to it for now. I don't know if it's really worth getting too much else with him. On this side, he has 4. So I have to spend some of it. Otherwise, I'm just going to gain tenacity for that. Well, I could gain rapid maneuver. All right, and that could be really helpful. So I think I will do that. So I'm going to gain the rapid maneuver. That's going to cost me 1 XP, as that's still there. So rapid maneuver is number 2. So that's going to be that one. And I don't think I'm going to spend anything else at the moment. So then, again, we're going to get to recover a die and heal, but both of our characters are at, or both of my characters are at full health. And I think I'm just going to hold on to the 2 XP there. At this point, yeah, I think the next thing I do want to kind of do is get my cooldown up a little bit here. All right, I think that is it for that. So then it is in the end of round phase. So let's go ahead and reveal a peaceful card and determine the weather. So it's going to be sunny. Okay, and that means that those guys are going to move 4 hexes in their direction. So it would be great if they head down. It's a 1, so they're going north. So they're all the way up there now. All right, but that also means that I can move 3 spaces, so that's good. All right, and I'm down there. Okay. So at this point, I might want to go to town. All right, that is the end of day 4, so top of day 5. there aren't any effects to handle. So then it is into the Overland phase. I could go to the Stone Wastes. So that's a 3-point movement. Or I could just keep making my way north and handle a peaceful encounter as well. I think I'm going to go to town. All right, so that is the Stone Wastes. So let's find out what that is. Stone Wastes. Though others might see Stone Wastes as a lowly river village, its residents are proud of their home. They are guarded by the legendary warriors known as the Four Winds, who recently reunited to fight off a new threat in the town that they love. All right, so it says, with this one, it has a special ability that says, train with the Four Winds. After populating trainers, the party may replace any non-combat type skill lines from the trainers with randomly drawn combat skill lines. If the party chooses to do this, the town square is closed for this encounter. All right, the town square is hire a Sharp Eyes mercenary group, level 10, Agurian Stalker. Becomes a companion controlled by the party. At the end of the next combat, return it to its enemy bag. That could actually be pretty useful. All right, so let's go ahead and set up the shop. So there's 2 common items. So this shop doesn't have a whole bunch here. So it has the Root Mender branch. The next time you would advance health, stamina, or magic, discard this item. Chosen stat costs 1 fewer XP to advance. That's pretty nice. I have the Norge Snowshoes. 1 tenacity move, 1 hex. 2 tenacity move up to 3 hexes. So that gives me a little bit more movement. And a legendary item is the Raska's Optus. When a lockpick attempt is made, you may choose to add 1 HP chip to this pet and set 1 lockpick die to the side of your choice. Once there are 5 HP chips on this pet, to discard it. Oof. All right, and then the trainer, there's 4 available, and all 3 constellations are available, so let's see what we pull here. All right, so we have Speech. We have 2 hands. Oh, there's the healing one. That's the one I wanted. And the last one is Magic, Destructive Staff. Okay, so I think I will start with the High Elf first. And I definitely want that, so I'm going to gain that. Add that into my line here. So that is, I think that's Restorative. Yeah, Restoring Light. That's that one. Okay. And that was my first action. I have 1 left. So the inn's closed, quest board is closed, the guild's kiosk is closed. So it's basically either going to the shop for an item or the town square, because I don't really want to train anything else at the moment. I think I'm going to take this. So I'll add that there. And then it's over to the other player to do some stuff. I definitely want this, because I'm going to pop that right away probably, and might get myself another XP for free basically. I could do the 2-hander. Sure, why not? So I'll train that. All right, so these go back to the bag, and that'll be discarded. All right, so that takes care of that. And then it's into the rewards phase, so I can spend rewards that I have. So I definitely wanted to get this Hasty Prayer. So it's an instant effect, and it heals each adventurer for 2 HP. And that is going to be the tan-colored ones. That is going to be this one here. That's going to cost me 1 I still have 2 left. I mean, at this point, another HP would probably be good. Or I could get another die in the bow. Or another stamina would also be good. Now, the restorative is magic, so I am more than good there. I think I will grab a stamina. Alright, that's going to take down all my stuff. I'm going to spend this Root Mender branch to reduce the cost of either a health, a stamina, or magic by 1. And this only costs 1, so I'm going to do that basically for free. And then that gets discarded. So I get to add another HP to my character. And I still have 2 over there. I mean, I would like more dice, but I think getting that cooldown track up is also extremely handy, especially for a fighter like me. All right, so I think that is going to be it. And so that is and then I'm into the end of day phase. So again, because it was a town encounter, I have to reveal a peaceful card, and it's back to rainy weather. And that means that they're going to move 3 spaces. And it's a 1 again, so it's staying up north. So I'm going to have to move pretty good to make my way up there. All right, and then the end of the round, we recover 1 die and heal, but we're both maxed out at this point. All right, and then it's new day, so we're into day 6. Day 6, what do I want to do? I think I want to go here, so I'm going to have to move. I move 2, and then I'm going to go ahead and gain a light fatigue with each player to move 1 more space. So that'll put me there. All right, that is that. So then I'm going to roll as that is an unstable encounter, and I'm in a traveling caravan. Okay. So I guess I got somewhat lucky there. All right, so the harsh weather and harsher environment of Black March make travel very difficult. As you rest your weary feet at this traveling caravan, you ponder the value of making some sort of dark bargain to reduce difficulty of your journey. Trouble brewing. Set the weather to flooding. Do not change the weather during this day's active province effect step. Okay. But still resolve the steps for any other effects, so they're still going to move. All right, so I guess we're back in town again. So I have 3 common items. So I have the Dwarven Battle Axe, your combat skill dice, 2 results in an extra damage, so that's pretty good. Okay, next is the Tarragon Chicken. Discard this item to then lose 1 HP and roll 1d6 to remove that number of light fatigue from your cooldown track up to your result. And the final one is the Breach Lightning Staff. Deal yourself 1 damage to increase your range by 3 for this engage ignore sight. Okay. And then I have 2 legendaries. So the first one is the Tranquility Pale Ale. Discard this item, then adventurers may remove a collective total of up to 10 fatigue dice from their cooldown tracks. And the Mark of the Pariah Shield. You may roll combat dice, skill dice, disengage as if they were defense, or as if you were in defense. So they basically count as kind of like these dice here. Okay, there's some good stuff there. All right, and then we have 2 training options. All right, so the first one is stealth, and the second one is 2-hand. All right, so I already have the 2-hand. I don't know if I really want stealth. All right, so starting with my Nord, I definitely want the battle axe. And that shield's pretty darn good too. So I think I'll do that. Okay. And then over to the high elf, yep, because inn's closed. There is a quest board, so I could go to a quest board. There is the town square, so there's a dark pack. So clear your cooldown track, heal to full health, and gain 3 tenacity. Then move a random 10 to 20 enemy from the bag into the 5 bag. Gain the following persistent. So that's the reverse of the other one. So it basically adds a more difficult enemy into the lighter bag that you have to handle, but you get that benefit. So that is nice, but I don't think there's that. If my tracks were full up in that, I might be tempted to risk that, but I don't think so. So I think I'm going to take the Pale Ale as my first option. And then the second one, I'm just going to discard this stuff, and I'm going to do the quest board and take another quest. So we'll see what kind of stuff comes up in that. There's 1 and 2. All right, so first off, I have the Gold Rush. Rumors have been flying around about buried treasure in these parts, and you have been hired to join the local expedition into an unexploited cave. Interest is high, and claim jumping has been rampant. So there's no telling what kinds of opponents you will find underground. During your next delve, each time a non-quest enemy would be deployed, flip its chip in the air and deploy the enemy that lands face up. For the purposes of PvP calculation, it is still treated as its original level. If this encounter is failed, you may either discard this quest or keep it and attempt it again in the following delve. If this encounter is successful, complete this quest and gain 1 XP. The adventurer may search the legendary deck for a lucky horseshoe and gain it. Or I have Mercs and Scales. The Angorian crime lord has been terrorizing the region. A hefty bounty has been placed on his head, and you have a lead on his whereabouts. Travel to the easternmost conflict landmark and initiate the following clash for that day's encounter. Add level 5 Angorian Marauder to the EP and deploy it first with 5 HP, plus 5 HP. After the Angorian Marauder is defeated, you may change the battle objective to Conquer. Yeah, I think I will take that. So, the Mercs and Scales. So I took a thing. So, after the party gains a side quest, heal to full health, which I'm already at full health, but then I do get 3 tenacity. So, I am at full 5 tenacity now. And this one will be discarded. All right. And there's nothing else I really want to do there. So, then end of the rounds, we both clear 1, and I do have to roll for that. It is flooded, so it is only going to move 1 space, and 6 is up here. So, or let's see. Yeah, it is up to the highest point it can possibly get. Okay. So it's either going to stay up there, or it's going to hopefully start moving down here. That'd be great. And that is the end of day 6. There's nothing else for me to do at the moment. So that is going to end the day. And I did do a tenacity thing, which or an unstable event. So I believe with the unstable events, I know with certain ones you do get the tenacity, but let me double check here. All right, so I do believe we get 2 tenacity apiece as well for that. So it's just the high elf that's going to benefit from that, since the other one was already at max. All right, that is the end of that day, and so we're on to day 7. So I'm going to go ahead and tick that up. All right, so from there I have a couple of options. I can go to the other unstable area, or there's a peaceful one there, and then hopefully the weather will be a little bit better. So I think I'm gonna go peaceful this time. So there's Swamp Fever. The fetid environs of Black Marsh have a reputation of breeding grounds for pestilence, and for good reason. After wading through the muck for some uncharted swamp quite some time ago, you still feel quite not quite managed to dry off. You are beset with a deep fatigue. Your vision swims as you feel some infection assault your body. It's becoming clear that ignoring your condition is gambling with your life. You need to rest, but that might take time you simply don't have. Well, that's great. Okay, so there should be an Angorian healer somewhere nearby. This one gets me 1 XP. If the weather is flooding, you cannot select this option. All right, so it is flooding right now, so then you need to lie still before you move on. So this one's going to give me 1 XP. Adventurers can only spend XP on tenacity during today's reward phase, and the adventurer's rest step is skipped. Okay, well, that's the only one I can choose. So we each gain an XP. I'm not going to spend it on tenacity, so I'm just going to hold on to it. Luckily, both of my characters get to gain it and not go over. So that's good. And that is going to end the encounter. So the reward phase, I really can't do much during the reward phase. So it is going to go into the end of the day phase. That's going to switch to rainy. I'm going to roll for them. And it's a 1 again, so it's staying where it is. That has been very persistent. All right, that is the end of the day. So day 8. I got 5 days left to handle 2 more things, so I need to get a move on here. All right. 1, 2, so getting to town would be 3. So yeah, let's go 1, 2, and 3, so each gain a fatigue. And that town is Izmir. So then I'll pull the Gazette and see what we have. All right. Though no longer a functioning city in its own right, Izmir remains an important cultural site for Angorians thanks to its intact ancient Anmir structure. Many Angorians travel to the site to partake in a religious rite called the Trails of the Banished Scales. His communion at the start of this encounter. If the weather is sunny, each adventurer may gain 2 tenacity or remove up to 2 light fatigue from their cooldown track. I have not been lucky with that. So that is not the case. And so then let's go ahead and populate. So I get 2 common. So we have Eldadite Sword. If this is your first engage this turn, add 1 enemy combat die to the engage. That's pretty good. Second one is the Glyph of Weakening. And then legendary, there's 2. Golden Gauntlets. After an enemy engages you, gain 1 tenacity for each combat skill die that was removed from your active slots during this engage. And Glyph of Magicka. Enchant Adventurer. The Enchant Adventurer has +1 Magicka for each weapon in their ready slots with a Destruction or Restoration trait. Okay. And then there's only 1 trainer available, so this is not a training site, apparently. And it's another acrobat, so I'm not going to take that for sure. So I'm just going to pass on that. The inn is closed, the quest board is closed, and the kiosk is closed. There is a town square, which is the Trial of Rains. If the weather is rainy or flooding, the party may initiate the following delve. Battle objective is uncover. If successful, gain the following persistent effect. When the weather would change to flooding, you may set it to rainy instead. This effect lasts for the remainder of the campaign. Ooh. And it's uncover. Okay. Trial of the Rains. It's a group thing, so we both have to do it. But I think we would both get 1 other action then. Well, I'm definitely going to gain this one. And I'm going to switch that out for this one. Okay, that's really good. And then for my other character, I think I'll take the gauntlets. They seem pretty decent. Doing that group delve would be probably pretty good because, man, there's been a lot of flooding going on. And this would be for the rest of the campaign, so that seems pretty darn good. All right, so then we're going to move into the delve. So I'm just going to place this off to the side for the moment. I will have that equipped. So those are my four items there. And then on my other character, I'm going to stick with what I have. This is going to be placed out. And again, we have to choose our starting characters. So I think I will go first. And then followed by my other player. I'm going to go up there. All right. I've set my dial to 1, so we're ready to move into it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start by doing an explore action to explore that hex. So I'm going to draw a delve card. And this is going to be a narrow causeway. It's going to have me draw one of these. And I have to connect this to one of those spots there. So let's do something like that. All right, so it is 2 players, so I'm going to draw a level 5 monster and a level 1. And there is going to be a cache here, so there's that. All right, and then there's a tight squeeze. Adventurers cannot move onto or be placed onto this tile if there is another adventurer already occupying it. So it's kind of a one at a time kind of thing. And this one is drawing a 5. So first off, it is going to be a Red Guard Marauder. 5 hit points. And then a level 1, which is an Orc Bandit. Okay. Who has 4 hit points. All right. So it's going to move into the Nord's turn right away. So I'm going to get to remove 2 dice from my cooldown track. Okay, and it's a shame I didn't get to use my experience points. That would have been great to be able to use. Yeah, because I couldn't spend them, right? An adventurer can only spend XP on tenacity. Yep. So I did not want to do that. All right. So the Nord, what do I want to do? I could move onto the cache and try to get that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and that's going to trigger this. So let's see if I can unlock this. 3 5s. Oof. I'm going to try to roll again. So this is second roll. 3 4s. Holy smokes. All right. So I'm definitely going to lock 1 4. And I'll try it again. This is my last one. So it's a 1 and a 6. Ugh. I have to spend 3 light fatigue for that. Well, I think I'm just going to fail it this time. So then this is just going to go away. And I think that cache gets removed. All right, so then it's into my engage. I am going to switch to the light weapon, and I'm going to use my one-handed shield. I'll spend both of those, and I'm going to use 1 of those. And I'm going to go ahead and attack. And I will go after, I mean, they both swing about the same. So I'm going to go after the Marauder. And he's got, what's his abilities? He's got Shatter and Steel. All right, so Shatter doesn't sound good. Each turn, the first time this unit is engaged by An adventurer who is not overtaxing a weapon, that adventurer must discard a weapon from a ready slot. Adventurer must discard a weapon from a ready slot after the engage. Whew. Alright, so I might not want to go after him. And then this unit determines, when this unit determines the target, roll a d6. If the result is greater than or equal to its target's current HP, target discards a non-consumable item from a ready slot. This guy's not very nice. Alright, and then the other one is aggressive. After rolling enemy combat dice, this unit rerolls all misses one time before dealing damage to its target. Alright, so I think I'll go after the orc. Try to take him out. If this is your first engage this turn, add one enemy combat die to the engage. Alright, so I get 1 tenacity, which I am already at max. I do 3 damage to him. He's going to block 1, so he takes 2. These will go into my ready slots. That goes there, and this gets removed. Alright, so then the question is, I get to recover a combat die, so I'll recover that. So I could go again, and I could use the shield's ability, which lets me treat all combat skill dice in this engagement as if I was in defense. So it'll give me a lot of defense to soak up some damage here. So yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to spend 1, or I have to spend a fatigue, and I'm going to attack again. I'm going to roll 3 as my stamina is 3 now. On to the orc, and it's going to be 4 damage. So the orc soaks 1, but 2, 3 get through. So the orc is going to be eliminated. I'm going to add that up there, and this one. This extra one just goes right into that. And so that is going to be, I think that's all I'm going to do. All right, so from there, then the High Elf's turn, so I get to clear that. Could go with the acrobatics as well. Will give me some extra movement potentially. But I think I'm going to just try to go straight up damage at this point. Ooh, wait a minute. I do have the honored duel. So if there is only one enemy within 3 hexes of you, deal 3 damage to that enemy. So I will do that. He is going to soak 1 damage with his defense, but 2 get through. So that'll help. And then the High Elf's going to go. So he's going to start off by moving. I'll move 1, move over here for 2. I have a straight shot there, so I gain a tenacity because of my bow, being that I'm going to engage an enemy 2 hexes away. And I'm going to roll this with my 2 arrows, and I am in my ranged attack choice here. And I do 3 damage, and with my ability, with the arrows, I ignore 1 defense. So he does have 1 defense, but I ignore it. So I'm going to do the 3 damage and eliminate him. So I was able to take him out before he was able to affect me. So that was good. And I'll have it go this way. All right. So that was a tight squeeze. So that says adventurers cannot move onto or be placed onto this tile if there is another adventurer already occupying it. Okay. And I think that's everything I want to do there. So it is round 2. All right, so back over to the Nord. I'm going to explore this one here. And so it is a spore chamber. All right, so it says when revealed, each adventurer must either drain a combat skill die from anywhere on their adventurer mat or gain a Bane status die. All right, I will go ahead and drain a die. And then my other player, I thought I had something that removes those. Is it restorative magic? And I didn't take purge. Darn. So that would have been great. I don't really want to lose the die, so I think on him I will gain the Bane. And that will hold or last for a couple of turns. Which one is Bane? Bane is the blood. So this one says this unit is dealt 1 true damage at the start of each of its turns. Okay. All right, so that's that. I'm going to add a little triangle. So add that there. And it has a level 1 enemy, but there are no spots for enemies, so I don't handle anything there. It says must either, okay, so I handled that. And then it's going to have an effect when somebody moves on to there to gain that spore. All right, so I'm going to go 1, 2 to pick that up, and then I gain light fatigue until my thing is full. So that is not good. And I would have already removed it at the beginning of my turn, so there's nothing I can do about that. So I'm all set up for defense, and I have the 1 spore so right now. So that has been handled. So now that I'm off this tile, now this other guy can move on. So he's going to regain 2 for his turn. He takes 1 true damage. And that happens at the start of his turn. At the start of each of its turns. And at the start of your turn, you may take 1 life fatigue to heal yourself. Or the question is, when does that trigger? So I think I get to choose. So I would definitely trigger that first, and then I'll take the light fatigue to restore that. And then I'm going to go ahead and move. So 1, 2, and then I'm going to explore here. So this one is armed guards. So it's going to be another one of these. Okay, let's do it that way. And with 2, it's going to be 2 5s and a 1. So let's see what we get here. So first one is going to be a Dark Elf Marauder. It's got 4 hit points. And it's got Disrupt and Divert. Next, the next level 5 is an Agorium Marauder. Divert and Feeble. Okay. That one's really nasty. And that's all because there's only 2 symbols on there. So there won't be a third one. And it does have a cache. So I'll put a cache there, and this one has another sky crystal, so I do need to get on there. Now the kicker with this is when one of us moves on there, it's going to add 4 HP to each enemy occupying this tile. So I don't necessarily want to move on there until I handle some of these enemies. All right, so then I have to, let's see what their effects are. So this guy's got Disrupt and Divert. So Disrupt is when this unit determines its target must exhaust 1 die from its active slots if possible. And Divert, this unit cannot lose its last HP unless it already is at 1 HP. So I have to get it down to, and then I can eliminate it. Okay, so I might as well take a shot. And I'm going to go ahead and use one of these. So acrobatics, I have a couple of choices here. So I have the Fleet Phantasm. While this die is in your cooldown track, you may move up to X hexes at the start of your turn. And then Rapid Mover, when this die is in your cooldown track, you may move through enemies. After moving, deal 2 damage to each enemy moved through. Or, while this die is in your cooldown track, you may move through enemies. After moving, heal 1 HP for each enemy you move through. So I got a couple of choices there. The Rapid Maneuver would be helpful, especially if they close in on me pretty quick here. Alright, so... But that's at the start of my turn, so I won't be able to benefit from it currently. So this could be... He's rolling 2. And he's got range. Ugh. And the other guy's got range as well. So I gotta be careful with this. Alright, so I got 2 shots, or 2 dice on him. I'm gonna gain a tenacity. Alright, so he's gonna probably get hit here. So I'm gonna spend 3 tenacity to give him 3 bonus HP. So those are gonna be added here. And then I'm going to do an engage to attack that guy at range. And I gain a tenacity and I do 1 damage to him, which will be successful because I bypass 1 defense with my bow. Okay. And did I want to... Yeah, I'll roll this as well with it to get some maneuverability. Alright, so lets me move it to 3 spaces at the start of my turn. Alright, so that is my turn. So now it's over to the enemies. So this guy wants to go after the 2 lowest. 1, 2. So he's going to target the High Elf. He's rolling 2 enemy combat dice. Does 2 damage. That's going to come off of the bonus HP first. And then the other guy is going to... Who's he targeting? He targets the single lowest. So 1, 2. Alright, so I think it would actually move here, as it could actually target him. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's rolling 3 dice. Yikes. And 3 damage. So I'm going to lose 1 here. And then the last 2 come off of my player there. Oof. Almost took all of it out there. Alright. That is the end of the enemies phase. So it is round 3. Okay. So... And only 1 character can be on that tile. So I am unfortunately out of range. So I could, let's see here. I could move up 1. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no way of getting around here where I'm at a range where I can use my honor duel. Alright, so I do get to remove 2 dice from here. So that's a plus. And then, Alright, so the question is, what do I do from here? I can't move on to that tile. And I don't have any skill dice at the moment that I can use. So unfortunately, I'm kind of useless at the moment. So I guess I will explore here. So that one is for this location here. So then the next location is the Dusty Corridor, or Corner. So that one will have, let's do, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll do that. So it's going to have a 5 and a 1. When revealed, if no enemy is deployed in this tile, each adventurer gains 2 tenacity. Huh, I wonder when that would happen. Alright, so we have the spider, and that's going to have 5 HP. And a level 1, which is a bog dog, has Bane. Okay. And the bog dog goes there. Alright. So I got my work cut out for me, and I have no dice at the moment, so this is not good. Reveal it if no enemy is deployed in this tile. Okay, so that's not the case. So we have not collected any of those yet. Now, granted, they're right on the edge, so I could move up, but I won't be able to do anything. So I might as well. All right. And yeah, there's nothing else I can do at the moment, so that is his turn. So then it's over to my other character. And I remove 2. I will take the 1 true damage for that. So that takes care of Bane. And I get my combat die back. Alright. And then I can move during my turn, so I might want to back off a little bit. Or I can do this as well. Try to do some damage that way. Okay, so I could discard an item. Discard this item, then adventurers may remove a collective total of up to 10 fatigue dice from their cooldown tracks. I may need to do this. So yeah, I think I will do that. I'm going to remove 1 from his track and 9 from his track. So there's 3, 6, and 9. And so that goes away. And then I am going to do this one, the medical use. It's going to cost me 1 tenacity. It discards an item and lets me regain 3 health. So heal any party member for 3. So that's going to be mine there. And then I am going to back up 1. Well, I can't attack straight on. Well, I could, but... Well, I do have the acrobatics, so that has to be done at the beginning of my turn. Design your cool track. You may move up to X hexes at the start of your turn, which is 3. So, and that enemy is still on there, so I don't necessarily want to move on to that hex just yet. All right, so I think I'm not going to use that yet. I'm going to start, I think, my first engagement by rolling this. And stamina, so it doesn't matter what I'm in. And it's just a tenacity. Okay, so that's that. So unfortunately, I didn't do anything there. I will spend 3 tenacity, though, to gain 3 bonus health. So that will help me there. I'm going to move back 1 and attack. So I will get the 1 tenacity for attacking at range 2 or greater. And then I'm going to roll this on, and it's just going to be the combat. Do I go... Well, I did do that, so... Well, if I get a 2, then that'll... Nope, just 1. So he soaks the damage, and I do take a fatigue for that, so should be fatigue here for that. Okay. All right, that was all I could do there. And I hopefully built myself up enough that I can hold off here. All right, so he's going to move up. Well, he's got a range of 4, so he technically doesn't need to move. So he's going to attack from there. He's got 2 dice, and he's shooting the 2 lowest, so he could actually hit both of us. So on the elf first is going to be 3 damage. So I take 3 hit points there. And onto the Nord is 3 as well. Ouch. Whew. 1, 2, and 3. And then the other guy is going to go after the lowest health, so he's going to move up. 1, 2. And he just does 1. So I take 1 damage there. Okay. And then it's over to these 2. So the spider first, it has native and Stuarts. Or stalwart. So that one is, this unit cannot lose more than 1 HP in a single turn. Well, that's not very good. And the bog dog has Bane. Oh, and it also has native. So native is going to be dependent upon where I'm at. Which Black Marsh is a Stone Seeker. This unit, when this unit determines a target, its target must exhaust a number of dice with act slots by the current weather. And it's rainy, so it's going to drop. I have to drop that. And then Bane is, after this unit is engaged, apply a Bane status die to this unit's target. Whew, guy's nasty. All right, so Spider's going to attack me. And it does 3 damage. Ouch. And the bog dog is doing 1 as well. Wow. Well, things are looking a little rough for my characters here. All right, and then it applies Bane to him, and he's going to have that for a while. Granted, I do have an ability that I can get rid of that, so that's good. All right, and that's the end of the round. Correct? Yeah. So the spider is going to take a while to chew through. That's not good at all, because that's yeah, that's not good at all. All right, then it is into the Nord's turn first, so I recover 2, so I've finally gotten through all the fatigue. I take 1 true damage from Bane. Down to 1 hit point remaining. All right, what can I do here? All right. It'd be great if I could do that. I don't have any dice yet. I can gain 1 back from that. Okay. So, and he's got 5 health too. He's going to take a little bit of time to get through here. Darn. All right, so is there anything else I can do? And this one's for a 10-pointer. I haven't had any 10-pointers come up yet. And then this one is okay, so that's at easternmost. So I'm not anywhere near that at the moment. Which is all the way easternmost is travel to the easternmost conflict landmark. which is going to be that one there. I don't know about that. I might have to pop that to do, well, I don't have 5 tenacity, so it doesn't matter. All right, so I did that. And these guys are problematic as well. Oof. All right, so I do get to move. And acrobatics, while this die is in cooldown, you can move up to X hexes at the start of your turn. It doesn't say I can move through enemies though, so. Alright, so I have Solemn Vow, so I can remove a status die from your cooldown track and apply it to any non-quest enemy within 2 hexes of you. So that's going to cost me 1. And I'm going to definitely do that. And I will do it onto the spider. Because I do not like him. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and move. So I have not attacked yet, so I could do 2 movements. So I think I'll do that. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do a second movement here. That means I also get to pick this up, and this is my second thing, so there's no enemies occupying that tile at the moment. So that's good. And then I'm going to spend another one of these tenacity to trigger Honor Duel to this guy here. So that's going to take 2 more away from him. Because I can't kill him because of the divert. Alright, so I will hold there. And then it is over to the High Elf to go next. I got work cut out for me. Alright, so I get 2 arrows back. I can move 3 spaces for part of this, which I don't really want to do at this point. Alright, so I'm going to trigger his ability. I keep on for what's this one? Engage. Alright, so that could be useful later on. I'll have to keep in mind. So I'm going to use his Skyring's Boon. So once per battle, during your turn, place any adventurer in an unoccupied entrance tile hex and heal them for 3 HP. So I'm going to move him back here. I get to heal him for 3. So that's good. And then it says, that's during your turn. I'm going to gain a light fatigue to heal myself 1. Alright, so I'm going to do an engage against him. I'm going to use it 1 die. So does a damage. That is going to be enough to take him down, as the blow does bypasses 1 defense. I could take a second one to go after him. Because he's going to be able to hit me for 2. I forgot to do that. So I better add that here. So it should be like this. I do gain a tenacity for that. Well, I could do the snake blood too. Which is interrupt. Says, after healing an adventurer, immediately deal a targetable enemy damage equal to the HP healed. I technically healed him for 3. I could trigger that right away, but I hadn't done it yet, so yeah, I can't do that. That would have been cool. All right, so it's still round 3, so I'm holding in there. All right, so at this point, do I shoot? Yeah, I guess. All right. So I'm going to do another damage to him, because he only has 1 defense, so that will bypass that. And I do get another tenacity for that. And I do get a fatigue for that as well, so I'm up to that. So I think I will instead add 1 to him. instead of taking that fatigue. All right, and then I'm going to gain the 3 bonus HP, because that's pretty much singly keeping this guy alive. All right, so then it is over to the enemy, so he's going to stay there and hit him for 2 or for 3 dice. All right, so he rolls 2, so 2 go off of that. And then the spider's going to move up 2. 1, 2, has a range of 2, so it doesn't quite make it, and it does take 1 from Bane. Okay, and then the bog dog, same thing, 1, 2, but it does not have range to anything at this point. So I bought myself a little bit of time here. All right, then it is round 4. Okay, so I get to recover my 2 here. All right, so moving back in, I did, of course, as usual, make a mistake with the filming. So I forgot to turn the mic on in between these sessions. So I actually played through the rest of this delve and then realized that I had not put the video or the audio on. So I reset it up to where the last point that I was. And so we're going to move back in. So if you notice some stuff shifted around, that is the reason I had to reset it up. So we are back over to the players' turns. And so the Nord is up next. Ah, boy, things are looking a little rough here. All right. Well, what to do? Well, with his turn being first, he's kind of blockaded here because the high elf is in front of him. So there isn't a whole lot I can do this turn. So I think, unfortunately, I'm just going to have to kind of pass here and forgo doing too much. So yeah, I think that is about all I can do. So I'm gonna, well, I can recover this with my armor, at least, and have that fully done up. And might as well switch over to armor and roll these 2. All right, so I got that. And this will go here, and I pick up another tenacity. So that could be helpful. 1, 2, 3, and I am far enough away that I will trigger Honor Duel and do 2 damage to him. So he's got 1 left. Okay. So I was still helpful. And then I think I will move back 1. Okay. So then it's over to High Elf, so I'll regain my 2 dice here. And start of my turn, I can gain a life fatigue to heal yourself or adjacent hero. So I think I'm good there. These will slide over. And I have no ability to attack anything at the moment. So I should probably roll these 2. Let's see what I get out of that. All right, so this one is a movement. And unfortunately, I did not get anything on that one again. So just get a tenacity for that. Okay. And I think at this point, the best thing to do is to kind of move back and be able to be ready to do something next turn. All right, so then it goes into the enemy's turn. So he's going to start by moving up 1, 2, puts him in range of both of us. He's going to go after who has the lowest health. So right now they're tied for lowest health, as the bonus health does not count. So it would go to me to choose. So I'm going to take it on my Nord, as he has the 2 defense. And he's rolling 3 dice. He got 4 hits, so I'm taking 2 damage on that. And I'll drop this away. And he does cause enfeeble 2, so I'm going to take 2 fatigue. All right. And then the spider's going to move up and does not have range currently to anybody, and the bog dog is going to do the same thing. All right, so then it goes to my turn, and this is round 5. So we are getting super close to fatigue rounds here. All right, so at this point now, I need to clear the way. I gotta punch through these guys so that I can do some damage. It'd be great if I could flip orders, because the high elf would be handy to have here at the moment. All right, so I get my 2 skill dice back. I am going to switch over to ranged, and I'm going to use both of these to try to hit this guy. And I got 2 successes, which is just enough. That's exactly what I needed to take him down. So he's been eliminated. And then what to do next? I can roll on up there and try to hammer him. I'm going to take one of these back with my armor. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and move on up there. And I'm going to switch over as my second one, so I'm going to have to gain a fatigue for that. And I'm going to use his ability. So it says, once per battle, when performing an engage with one of the 3 main attack types, I get to add 1 enemy combat die to your engage, plus an additional enemy combat die for each weapon you have in your inventory. So I have 2 weapons right now, so I'm actually going to get to roll 3 dice. So I'm going to... It's a shame that spider's just going to take those away again. It is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and take those 2 and attack the bog dog. All right, so I got 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the bog dog is down. And that clears the way for that. And these 2 go up here as defense. Okay. And then I'm going to do it again and try to hit that spider with this. And I'm using it as with the shield. So it says I may roll a combat skill die, this engage as if you were in defense. Oh, and that's for magic. Never mind. I don't want to trigger that, because that's not going to necessarily help me at all. And I will go ahead and do my honor duel again, at least to take 1 more die away from the spider, or 1 more health away from it. Unfortunately, that's about as much as I can do here. And yeah, I think that is it. I don't have anything else that I can do to move or anything at this point. So, all right, so that is it for his turn. So then it's over to High Elf now. I get 2 dice back. So I got my 1 combat die. I have a movement of 3 at the beginning of my turn with my acrobatics. So I will move up to be adjacent there. And then it says at the start of my turn, I may gain 1 light fatigue to heal yourself or an adjacent member. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and just add another one to my elk to add 1 to him. And then I do have the one skill with the restorative magic, or light. And this one is that I heal each adventurer for 2 HP. Well, first, let's start by doing, I'm going to stay in range, and I'm going to take a ranged attack on him. And it's 1 damage. And I get a tenacity for making a ranged attack. Okay, and then I'm going to take another fatigue and switch over to magic to do the restoring light. And that one, I get to heal each adventurer for 2 HP. And that goes off. So I've got, I'll pick up an extra one myself. And then the other guy picks up 2. So he's at 5. And that's going to go there. And then I'm going to move back 1 space, because I do not want to take damage from that spider, as the spider can attack both of us. All right, so that is going to finish off both of our turns. I don't really have anything else I can do at this point. So it's going to move over to the spider to go. It's going to take 1 damage from Bane, so it's almost gone. And then it is going to it's going to do its stalwart to take these 2 away, and then it's going to attack for 2, and it does 1 damage. Okay, so I'm going to take 1, and that is the spider's turn. So we're into a fatigue round. So with this, that means that each one of us is going to gain a over fatigue. And then we each take damage based on how many over fatigue we have. So each one of us is going to take 1. And this is true damage, so I can't use my bonus defense for that. Okay. So then it's our turns. The spider's going to die as soon as it activates, so I'm not too worried about that. So I need to get my warrior off of here. So I'm going to go 1. Oop, I get my 2 dice back. And then this one I'm going to take back with my armor. So it's going to kick those 2 down. I'm just going to put them off to the side for the moment. And I'm going to move. So I get to move 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do a second move action. 1, 2 to go into here to pick this up. So now we've got our 3 sky shards that we need. Unfortunately, as part of that, it says that I'm going to deploy a level 10 enemy into an unoccupied hex on this tile. So I got to pull a level 10. And I will not be able to attack this turn. And it is Scamps. All right, so they're going to have 7 hit points. Whew. 2, 4, 6, 7. They got some nasty stuff there. All right, so I basically just need to live through the attack. So I'm going to go ahead and switch into, well, now I've moved twice. I can't do that. So I basically have to hope that they don't roll super well, because I can't do anything else at the moment. Well, I could do the honor bound, or the honor duel, but I don't think that's going to be helpful. All right. So that is, I think that's going to be my turn for him. Over to my other character, the High Elf, I'm going to remove 2. I get to move 3 spaces as part of my move. 1, 2, 3. As part of that. And then I get to take my turn, so I'm going to do another move action. So 1, 2, 3, and I'll do my final move action. 1, 2 to get that. So I'm going to try to handle this. I need 2 2s and a 5. All right, two 4s and a 3. Nope, I'm going to try again. That's my second roll. There's a 2. I'm going to go ahead and try it again. This is my final roll. And a 1 and a 6 again. All right, so I'm going to take 1 fatigue to change this to a 2. And then I'm going to use my Resix. This says that when a lockpick attempt is made, you may choose to add 1 HP to this pet and set 1 lockpick die to the side of your choice. Once there are 5 HP, then I remove that guy. So I'll go ahead and set that there and unlock this. And I have an Iron Greatsword. Gain 1 over fatigue to add 3 enemy combat dice to this engage. Okay. That's pretty cool. And that will remove that. And I don't think there's much else I can do at this point. So then I just basically need to live through this here. All right, so the spider's going to activate first. Well, no, this guy would activate first. He has native, so he's going to be the storm. He's going to take stuff away, which there isn't any dice there to take away. And then he also has maim. After this unit's engage, apply a maim status die to the unit's target. And maim does, when this unit rolls combat skill dice, the total damage rolled is reduced by half, then rounded down. This effect does not apply to true damage. All right, so he's going to maim me if I actually live through this. I have 3 HP left, and he gets 3 combat dice here. And he got 4 on me, so I am down. So my character is out. And then the spider goes, and that will be eliminated because of Bane. So that works out there. And then it is the end of the round, so I'm going to go ahead and escape the dungeon at this point. Because I've gotten the 3 sky shards that I needed, that is my requirement, and then I can leave the dungeon, so I don't have to stick around for that. So that will end my dungeon crawl there. And this enemy just goes back into the bag. All right, and my high elf will come back out. And I lose my bonus HP. Okay, so let's go ahead and clean some of this up. And I get my rewards. So each one of my characters is going to get 3 XP for that. So he's already at 3, so he's going to have 6. And then this guy is going to be at 3. And that was part of the location that I'm at. All right, so now from this point on, I have, if successful, gain the following persistent effect. When the weather would change to flooding, you may set it to rainy instead. This effect lasts for the rest of the campaign, so that's pretty cool. Okay. So then I can spend XP. So I'm going to spend the 3 here to go up on my cooldown track. And he has 6, so I definitely need to spend that. So I'm going to spend 3 to upgrade his cooldown track. I will spend 2 to buy another one of his one hands and shield dice, I think. So I'm going to take the Heroic Slash, and that's going to cost me 2 XP, as that is in the 3rd slot. So even though these dice are in the cooldown track, you still count them to determine the cost of an upgrade. And I get my other die back from being drained. And that is, I think that's everything I can do for the reward phase. All right, so then I move into the end of day phase. So it was a town encounter, so I have to reveal a card, and it is going to be flooded, but due to my ability now, I can keep it rainy. And then I have to roll a die to determine where that group moves. So they're going to move down. It's rainy, so they're going to move down 3. So they are adjacent to me. That's helpful, hopefully. But I think I need the rest first, so this will be interesting. All right, and then I upgrade my track by 3, and I also heal and recover 1 die for each of them. So High Elf is at full health, and my guy's back in the game with 1 health. He's holding on by a thread here. All right, that is the end of the day. So we're on to day 9 now. I really need to handle that group, but I would be hard-pressed to be very successful in that endeavor, I think, at this point. So I'm going to move 2 spaces into town here and visit that town. So that is Elton Conmort. So let me see what that is here. All right, so this is a port town on the interior waterways of the Black Marsh. Alton Corriemont is known for its distinctive landmark, a beach sailing vessel that serves as a variety of social and business functions for the city's residents. The town is run by Captain One-Eye, an Angorian pirate on the lookout for the next payday. So this one has open contracts. As a Freetown action, adventurer may discard an active side quest to gain 1 item from the shop. So then I'm going to populate. I get 3 items from the shop as common items. So we have pork fried rice. Discard this item to gain tenacity equal to your highest level available skill die. We have beetle cheese, which is discard this item to heal 5 HP, may exceed HP stats, and gain a Bane status die. And I also have a Glyph of Foulness for my common items, and then 3 legendary items. Potion of Potential. Refresh 1 potion in any adventurer's inventory. We have the Sea Giant Gloves. 2 tenacity to remove a status die from your cooldown track and heal 2 HP. And then the final one is Glyph of Sight. This one is enchant the Peaceful or Conflict Overland deck. Once per day when you draw a card from that enchanted deck, you may choose to shuffle it back into the deck and draw a new card. Okay. And then I have 3 training opportunities. All 3 are open. So let's see what we pull. All right, so two hands. Destructive Magic. And Heavy Armor. Okay. Well, I think I am going to... I don't think I'm going to do any trainings. I don't really feel like that's going to be necessary. The inn is open, so I definitely want to go there. So I think I'm going to start off with that for each one of my adventurers. So with the inn, you get to remove all of your dice from the skill or from the cooldown track, including any fatigue dice, and return those to the supply. So, and then we each heal up to our maximum health. So I pick up some more health here. All right, and these are all removed. I get to add my dice back in. Should probably pick up another arrow die or something here. Or another combat die or something. Okay, so that is my first action, and he's fully healed as well, so I don't have to worry about anything there. And second action, buying stuff. I think I will go to the shop for the High Elf and pick this up. And I think I'm just going to hold on to it for the moment. And then I think I'm going to grab that with my character here. So I'll just place it there for the moment. These will be cleared off as I can't do any more actions at this point. Okay. And I'll reset that to 1. These can be discarded at this point. All right, and I am at my capacity at this point. Ooh, I'm going to go ahead and do this knuckle bones as well. I forgot about this. So during a town encounter, shuffle this item into the common deck and draw a legendary item. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Whoa. Oop. Shuffle that deck up. There we go. All right, and I get to draw a legendary item, which is the Silver Dawn Jack. Prevent 1 damage or recover 1 stealth type skill die. And that is a chest as well. Oof. Ooh. I think getting it over to the other character would be more beneficial. So I will hold on to that for the moment and pass that on over to my other character here. I'm going to trade, so he's going to equip that instead. Put that in my backpack. And I think that will be it. And that is going to finish that off. So end of day into the recovery part. I don't have to worry about anything there. I did my trade, and then we're going to reveal a new card to determine the weather. It is sunny. And then we have to determine where that guy goes. This could be good or bad. It is a 4, so he's going south again. And luckily, I think he's going to hit the barrier there. So it is up to 4 hexes. So luckily, he hits that and stops there. So he can't go south any more than that. All right, so that is going to move me into day 10. I'm getting real close here. I need to pick up the pace, and I think I'm definitely going to need to go and handle that. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3 onto that, and we'll see how this goes here. So this is the second encounter now, and I spent my stuff already, so unfortunately I will not be able to bypass this one. But I think I have a quest that may be beneficial here. So this is the marathon session. So 1 to 2 players during your next clash. Is this considered a clash? It's a conquer, so I'll have to check that. If it includes at least 1 level 10 enemy, defeat the level 10 enemy in round 5 or later. So if I can hold off that, I could actually complete that quest, I think. I believe this is considered a clash. Let me double check here, just to be sure. All right, so a clash is, this is a sudden battle set on a single clash tile for a short, straightforward encounter. Clashes are described on page 71. So I think this is considered a clash. Yeah, that is a clash. Okay, so I'm going to have that out there, and then we're coming in down here. Okay, so travel to the tainted. Okay, I did that. First enemy deployed must be creature, and it's going to be, it's a conquer, so I have to eliminate all the enemies. And we've got 2 caches and a legendary cache. And then I deploy enemies. So I'm going to start off, it is 10 points. So it's a 20. So woof. And that's the only enemy because it's a level 10 or 20. I have 20 points to work with, and that's a level 20 enemy. Oh, it has to be... Okay, so I have to keep drawing until I find the right one. So that's not... I need a particular type of enemy here. So let's try this guy. Nope. So next one. And it is going to be the Hajimata. It's a big turtle. All right, so that goes away. It's going to start with 8 health instead. It still only has range 1. It has a high defense, though. Defense at 3. So it's going to be hard to get through. It has Bane, so after this unit's engaged, apply a Bane status die to this unit's target. And it also has Shatter. Each turn, the first time this unit is engaged by an adventurer who is not overtaxing a weapon, that adventurer must discard a weapon from a ready slot after the engage. That's not good. So I might want to remove my weapons so that I'm not losing them due to this effect. All right. Luckily, it's a slow, it only can attack close targets, so that's a good thing. All right, so I'm going to start my guy there, and the high elf I'll go here. And I do have to roll the die to determine what comes up next. All right, so it's a 5. So 4 or 5, all enemies with native. He does not have native. Also gain enemy skill repose 2. All right, so he doesn't have that. So it looks like he doesn't gain anything with that. All right, so I just have to bring him down. And I think he would meet the criteria for this as well, right? Let me see here. It's going to be this one, right? At least 1 level 10, so it's at least. Okay, so it has to be a level 10, so it's not gonna, doesn't seem to meet the criteria for that. Well, that's a shame. All right, so I need to bring him down. I gotta do it a reasonable time here. I'm gonna start my turn, and my warrior is gonna move 1, 2, 3 to go up here. Try to pick this up, so I need a 1, 1, 3. And I got a 6, 4, 4. All right, I'm going to try this a second time. Hopefully some lower rolls here. Nope, I'm super high again. And final roll. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so I got the 3. So I would need 1 and 4. I'd have to gain 5 fatigue dice. I am going to pass and just say that that was a fail. All right. So this goes away. And the high elf. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. As I really don't want to do much else. And then the turtle's going to go. So 1, 2, moving on up, and does not have range to anything. So it is round 2. I'm going to trigger my ability, I think. So I'm going to move in 1, 2. And it says once per battle, when performing an engage with the 3 different attack types, I can add 1 enemy combat dice to your engage plus an additional enemy combat die for each weapon in your inventory. All right, so I've got 2 weapons currently in my inventory. So I'm going to be adding 3 enemy dice to my roll. And I'm going to go ahead and use the one hand and shield defense because he's going to be hitting me back here. So I'm going to use those 2. And what's that other die do? So this is heroic slash. So deal 2 damage to your target for each shield discipline die in your active slots. So I'd have to almost do that afterwards, because it is an instant effect. So the question is, does the... I would guess I would be able to resolve it kind of in the order that I want to, because they are active dice, so they would be placed in there, and then as an instant effect, I could trigger those based on that. So I'm going to go ahead and try that. All right, so this could be a big attack. We'll find out here. And I get another combat die for this one. So it says if this is your first engage this turn, add 1 enemy combat die to the engage. So this could be really big. All right. Unfortunately, I had 2 enemy combat dice that came up as duds. Oof. All right. So those are going to count and take care of his armor. And then I've got 2 successes there, so that's 2 damage. And then I did roll the sword slash. So it says deal 2 damage to your target for each shield discipline die in your active slot. So I have 2 in my active slot, so I'm doing 4 damage there. So he's down to 2 hit points. Okay, and those go away. And this will go in my slot there. And then I do lose 1 because of shatter. So I'm going to drop the shield. For that. Okay. And I don't really think there's anything else at the moment. I mean, I could go on defense and try to protect myself a little bit more with that, but I think that will do it. All right, so then over to the high elf. High elf is going to do 2 moves again to go there for that legendary item. So, all right, so this one works a little bit differently now. So now that I have a spot that has to be activated first. So I have to get a 3 first before I can lock any of these other ones. All right, I got a 6, 5, and 5. I got 4 chances at this. I'm going to try again. Need some low rolls. These dice are killing me with these high rolls. All right, so now I got the 3. So that was my second roll. This is my third roll. Now I need a 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so there's the 3, and my last roll. And there's a 2. And then I'm going to gain 1 more to change this to a 1. All right, so I was able to do all that without gaining any fatigue, so that was good. Okay, and this item is a Claymore of the Crucible. After applying damage to your target, apply the damage from all combat skill dice rolled disengaged to all other enemies adjacent to you. Wow. So that's pretty good. And he is full, so I gotta drop something. Or wait, no, he's not full. I have, yep, now he's full. All right, so that is definitely something I'll have to get over to my other character here. And that takes care of that. And that is the end of the player's turns. So then the enemy's going to go. He's going to attack. So he's going to add a status die. That I'll have to do. And then he's also rolling 3 enemy dice. All right, so the 3 enemy dice is 3 damage. So I'm going to drop these 2, and 1 goes away from my health. And then he does also add, that was maim, status die. So maim is going to be the little hand thing. Okay. All right. So that goes in here. All right, and that is, we're on to round 3 now for ready slot. So I'm going to unequip that, place it in my backpack, and I think I'm going to go on the defensive. And I get these back. Well, I could roll those again. And just try to finish them off at this point. But it's going to be hard pressed with that in there. So let's go ahead and just go on defense. So I'm going to get 3. All right, so that'll take care of that. And then it's over to my high elf to go. And I'm just going to go ahead and move right on over here. He's just going to keep working on that stuff. So now it's high, so now I'm going to roll low. I need a 4, 5, and 6. There's the 4. And there's the 1 and the 2, yep. And then a 3 and a 2, and the final roll is a 2 and a 6. So I will just go ahead and gain 1 more. And change that to a 5. So that will unlock this, and this is the crispy cheddar chicken. Discard this item, then adventurers may place a collective total of up to 4 drained dice into their cooldown tracks. It's so far been pretty rare to get cooldown dice or have drained dice, so there's nothing else I want to discard, I think, at this point, so I'm just going to go ahead and discard that. All right, that takes care of that. And I think that'll take care of the turn. So from there, then it goes to the enemy. 3 more damage, so that will remove these 3. And I think that just moves this over. Just keeps that in there. All right. So now it's back to us. I only have 1 tenacity so far. Well, I do have Solemn Vow. So I could move that to him. I get these 3 back. So I think I will do that. So I'm going to move that to him. That way then that's not affecting me. And I am going to go ahead and switch to attacking, and I'm going to roll these 3 here. So I need to get a decent roll here to get past his armor. Well, that's not going to do it. So he blocks that. I get 2 tenacity for that. Okay. And that is my turn. And then the archer is going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm going to go up. Let's see, where was I? I was over here. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to stop there because I don't want, if I move too far, that'll give him the opportunity to move up and attack both of us, and I don't want that either. So I will, instead of doing that though, I will roll this and see if I can heal. Nope, but I do get a tenacity out of it. All right, so that'll go into cooldown track. Then the enemy is going to go. So this time it is maimed, so it will suffer that effect. So it's going to do 3 damage. So that is half to round down, and so it only does 1 damage. So I don't take any damage for that. Okay. And then it attacks, so it's going to cause maim to me again, I think. So let's see here. So I think it just adds that to mine as well then. All right, and I'm going to remove these. It's part of my turn. This is round 4 now. So he's holding in there. I'm having a heck of a time taking him out here. That high defense is problematic. All right, and then that does what? Shield defense. All right, so it's only specific to the shield defense. Unfortunately, he's right in the middle of the map. So no matter where I run to, he's going to be able to get to me. I honestly think I'm going to have to back off. 1, 2, 3. And then with my high elf, I am going to have to engage him, I think, just to hold him there. And then I will go on defense. I will get this back. And I get 1 defense at least. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, so then it is his turn to go. And he does 1 damage again. So defense paid off. But he does maim my character there. So this is basically going to go away at the start of my turn. So then it comes back to me. This is round 5. So I'm going to move back in, and I'm going to try to hit him. So how do I want to do this? I'm going to try it with my defensive dice first. So I'm in a defensive slot. All right, so I've got 2 there. So that's doing 2 damage plus the 6, so that is going to take him out. All right, so I was able to take him down. These are all going to go into my cooldown track. And that is the end of that. So what happens here? All right, so I did conquer. It's going to get me 2 rewards, so I get, that's going to bump us up to 12 points. I'm running those on the opposite directions here. So this should be day 10, and this should be 12 XP. Okay. I was not paying attention to that. Okay. I was using it correctly, just the opposite way, which meant that I was going to max out at 12. All right. So I get 2 XP for each player. So that's going to put him up to 3 and 2. Okay. And when completed, go to entry C3. All right, C3 is Unnatural Selection, the Mage's Guild. Shortly after you finish collecting samples from the second pack of feral fauna, a missive from the guild arrives to your camp. Approach further engagements with caution, a letter warns. We believe these animals have been fed or injected with some sort of magically altered plant material or matter, which is making their behavior erratic and aggressive. We're unsure as to the origin of the substance at this point, perhaps the trees of the Black Marsh. Regardless, it's possible that the culprit behind these beasts' current condition is attempting to control their actions. But as you've seen, these rampages appear anything but organized. Please head south for another sample. We've received word that a particularly aggressive pack is wreaking havoc near Root Whisper Village. It's possible the source of this dark activity can be found there. Root. All right, so place it on the Root Whisper Village, which is way over here. Okay. So at least it's not terribly far. If I can get them to go up, if I can get a 6, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, I have a little bit of a trek ahead of me, but I could possibly make it. All right, so with this, then I travel to the tainted animals and initiate the following clash using the end session EP recommended by day 12. Yeah, no kidding. All right, and yeah, we'll see what happens with that. And not bad. I was able to keep my stuff pretty well off there. So luckily, I only had the 1 enemy. All right, so Then it goes into the rewards part. So I already got my experience points. I can spend them. So the question is, do I want to spend them on anything? What else do I have for one hand? So I could do the level 3, which is defensive posture. So after you've engaged by an adjacent enemy, roll 1 enemy combat die for each damage dealt to you. Deal the rolled damage back to the enemy, then exhaust this die. So that is an active slot. That would be pretty good. And then I do have shield charge as well. Recover any number of shield discipline dice from your active slots and cooldown track. Deal 1 damage to target for each shield discipline die recovered this way. Or deal 1 damage to your target for each one-hand and shield skill die you have trained. But yeah, I think so. Now the question is, do I gain another shield discipline or do I go with the higher level stuff? I think I will do... I think I'm going to gain the shield charge. Okay. So that is the die, that's the 4th die in that slot. Okay. And then my player over here has 2 as well. So the question is with the bow, I can gain another snipe die, or I can gain a volley, deal a total of 4 damage distributed as you choose among enemies adjacent to you, then place yourself in an unoccupied hex 2 to 4 hexes away from your current hex. That is pretty good as well, and that would give me a close short range attack. I think so. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, and that is pretty much all I can do as far as my archery is concerned. I'll have to work on other things here. So at this point I might want to get some magic actually. Even if it's just a couple of little dice to have some options. Or I can do a little bit more combat. Well, we'll see. Okay, so that is the end of that encounter. That takes that enemy out. So it is going to be day 10 or day 11 here. And it is sunny. Well, I haven't done that yet, so let's find out what it's going to be. And it stays sunny. All right, so that definitely works out in my favor. And I do get to recover a die at the end of my turn do that, and I get to heal. So that's going to put me at 6, so I'm fully healed for him. And I'm at 5 there, so I'm good there. Okay. So from that, I can move 1, 2, 3. And then the question is, do I want to gain some fatigue? I think I need to, so I'm going to do 2 fatigue on each one. And I'm going to go 1, 2 into that one there. Because the best I could do is I could gain 3, which would put me right next to him, but it isn't quite enough to get there. So then I roll. And it's a conflict. All right, so I'm going to reveal a conflict card. So we have the Highwaymen. A caravan of traveling merchants is slowly passing by you, headed back the way you came. You receive many a sidelong glance from the travelers, which makes you suspicious. You've heard a band of thieves is operating in this area, and that the criminals pose as a legitimate businessman until the time is right to grab a big score. This band doesn't look too tough, however, so perhaps there's a chance to liberate some ill-gotten goods. So before I do that, I do want to go back real quick. So that is day 11. And re-equip some stuff. So I'm going to equip that. And I do want to do a trade. So I will trade this over here so that I have that equipped. And I don't know if there's anything else at the moment that I really want. So I think I'm good there. Okay, now getting into this. All right, so I have Seize the Caravan, It's not worth any experience points. So after each time a cache is unlocked, you may discard an item to instead set aside the cache chip. If successful, the encounter rewards 1 experience for each set aside cache. After each time a cache is unlocked, you may discard the item to instead set aside the cache chip. If successful, the encounter reward is 1 XP for each set aside chip. Ooh, so this could be worth quite a bit. This could be worth 3. Okay, and it is a conquer. And I have to choose that because it is an unstable option. So the big tile comes back out. I have my stuff here. And we've got 3 cache chips. So 1 here, 1 here, and 1 down there. Okay. And then as far as enemies are concerned, I have 22 points to spend, so I'm going to have 1 20. And it's going to be a Demira, Arcane, and Daze. That doesn't sound too good. He's going to have 9 hit points. 3, 6, 8, 9. And he's going up here. And then I have 2 level 1s. So level 1 is going to be a Brigand, 4 HP, and he's going down here. And then the other one will go above him. And that is going to be an Imperial Bandit. All right, he's going to have 5 HP. He goes up there. All right. And then my characters are going to be in these spots here, and I'll go there. All right. And this one is Arcane and Daze. So Arcane is the damage dealt by this unit is true damage. Whew. And Daze is after this unit's engage, apply a Daze status die to this unit's target. So when it hits, it's gonna be nasty. And it does roll 3 combat dice. Whoa. All right, so moving into my turn, I get to recover 3. So I'm going to pick up these 3 here. This one slides over and that goes away. I am going to go ahead and move up to him. And I definitely want to attack here. But I think I'm going to do my special ability. So it says once per battle, perform the engage and add 1 enemy combat die. Plus I get the 2 for each one of those, and I get 1 more for the sword. And then I'm going to go ahead and do those 2. And I'm just not sure on that, so I think I'm just going to roll a standard combat die for that. I just don't know, and that seems really powerful. Man, 2 more again. Holy coolly. All right, so that was not very successful. So this one goes here. I'm doing 1 damage to him due to his defense. Those 2 are going to go in there. I get to recover 1's combat skill die, and that is that. Oh, that could have been a massive attack. Could have been really good, and that just did not pan out very well here. Well, I can do it again. So I'm going to do that with these 2. And I could do an interrupt. So I think I will do that. This is going to let me, at the start of any unit's turn, Choose any enemy in play for the rest of that turn. Well, I have to do it at the beginning, so won't be able to do it this turn. All right, so let's see if I can get through his defense. All right, so I have the slashing. Which one is that? All right, so it lets me exhaust them from active slots, which works out. And then I get to deal 3 damage to the target for each die exhausted this way. So I only had the 1 in there, so I'm going to get to, that's 3 damage from this. And then I do 2 more, so I'm doing 3 damage total to him because he's got the 2 defense. So at least that was a little better. That was able to get him down a little bit here. All right, yeah, let's go ahead and try it. So I'm going to take another fatigue, and I'm going to roll these 2. All right, so then it's got the... All right, so this one says that it is a recover any number of shield discipline dice from your active slots and cooldown track and deal 1 damage to your target for each shield discipline die recovered this way. Okay, so I get all 3 of these back, so I'm doing 3 damage to him, and I get to recover them, so they're going to go back into their slots. And then this is going to do 1 more, so it's doing 4, and he blocks 2. So that was a pretty good run there. And I don't think I really want to push it too much further there, so I'm going to hold there. And then it is going to be over to my other character to go, so I get to recover and then move. So 1, 2, 3, so that put me adjacent to him. I'm going to switch over to that, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do the volley. So if I get lucky enough to roll it, and I do. So this is going to deal 4 damage, distributed as you choose among enemies adjacent to you. So I'm going to just deal 4 damage to him, which he's going to soak 2 and take 2. Okay, and then place yourself in an unoccupied hex 2 to 4 hexes away. 1, 2, 3. So I'm just going to go right back to where I was. That is going to be exhausted. And then I can take another shot with it. And I think that's what I want to do. If I can bring him down, that'd be great. So I'm going to take a token or a thing there, and I'm going to shoot him for 3. All right, and I'm doing 4 damage minus 1 defense, so it is going to take him down. And these are going to go in my exhaust pile. Okay. So that was a big turn. That was huge. I really did not want him to be able to go off and attack, so that definitely worked out in my favor. All right, 1, 2 for the enemies, 1, 2, and neither one of them have range, so we're good there. All right, so then it is round 2. Oop, I forgot to reset that. All right, so round 2 to us. So I'm going to recover that, and I'll recover 1 extra one due to my armor. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to move 1, 2, and do a test. So I need a 3 and 2 6s. All right, I got a 5, 5, and 6, so I will take 1 fatigue to change this one to a 6, and I'll re-roll this one. Is a 3. All right, and I'm just going to save that cash for the experience points, so this simply gets discarded. Okay. And that is my first shot. I could attack. Yeah, why not? So I'm going to do those 2 and this one. I get a tenacity out of that. And I'm doing 2 damage to it. It has 1 defense, so it's going to take 1. And the other one is close enough, so I won't be able to do that. All right, so then it is over to the High Elf's turn. 1, 2, 3. And I get to recover. All right, so I will take a shot. Might as well. And it's going to just do 1 damage to him. All right, so that goes in my cooldown track. I'll take a fatigue, and I'm going to roll these 2 as my acrobatic dice. Okay, so this one lets me move 4, beginning of my turn. And then this one, while this die is in your cooldown track, you may move through other enemies. After moving, heal 1 HP for each enemy you move through. All right, that is like everything I can do there. So it's going to move over to the enemies. So he's going to go first. I do have a die in my active slot, so he's going to remove that. And then he's going to attack with 1 and misses. And then this guy moves up and he has Steel. So what does that do? When this unit determines a target, roll a d6. If the result is greater than or equal to the current HP, target discards 1 non-food item from the ready slot. All right, so I am okay. He does not steal from me. And then he's going to attack. And he does 1 damage. Okay. That is round 2, so it is round 3 to us. So I'm going to go ahead and move and try this one again. So I've got a 6, a 3, and a 1. Oh, but I got to recover. And I'll recover that with my armor. That armor has been super helpful. Okay, so I've got a 5. I do get the 3. I might as well gain fatigue there for that. It is worth 2, so oh well. Let's just do that. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and discard this item as well to get this cash. And I get to move 1 more time. So I had 1 more movement point left. All right, and then it's back over to my turn. Or it's still my turn, so I got to determine what I'm going to do here. Might as well just attack. Yeah. I'm going to roll 2 of these, and I'm going to roll this one here. All right, so woof. And that is that one, so it's all based on how much I've trained, so I'm doing, he is gone. Whew! I obliterated him. All right, these go in my cooldown track. And that is my turn. And at this point, I am going to go ahead and go with the High Elf. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 2 move actions. I recover my 2 combat and arrow die. Oh, and I get a free move out of it, so I don't even have to do that. I get the free move. So I will move through it, healing 1. So that brings me back up to 5. I'm not sure what that's there for. And that's due to those abilities there. So then I'm going to move in, and I get a 4, 2, 5. Interesting combination. Well, there's the 2. All right, I'll re-roll both of these. 3 and a 1. I'll try it one more time. 3 and a 5. Okay, so there's that, and I'm just going to take the 1 fatigue to bump this to a 4. And again, I'm going to go ahead and discard the item so that I can gain that one for the experience points. Okay. All right, that is my turn there. So then he's going to move up 1, 2. He gets to roll for the steal. And he does. Wow. That was the only number I needed not to roll, and he pulled it off here. So I think I will lose that then. So he's going to take that pelt, and then he attacks me for 1 and does 1 damage to me as well. All right. That is that. So round 4, I get to recover. And I'll recover 1 with my jacket. I think I'm going to let the archer do it. So archer's turn starts. I get those back. And that one back. That slides over. And I'm going to move up to be here. I'm going to do the volley. I knew it. I knew that was coming. All right, so it's a tenacity, and I'm going to go ahead and do magic as well. Or I have to switch to magic. That's going to cost a fatigue. All right, and I recover 2 for both my players, so he's going to get 1 as well. All right, that is that. So back over to the enemy to go, because I don't really want to do anything else. So he's going to roll. And he misses on both of them for the steal. And then he attacks both of us. So against the high elf, nothing. And against my guy, 1. So I take 1 damage. And then it is round 5. I've been able to bump this all the way to round 5 here. All right, so I get to recover my dice. And I'll go ahead and regain that with my other one. And I might as well just do an attack here. Well, he's the only enemy out there, so I'm just going to go ahead and spend the 1 tenacity to do 3 damage. So he takes 2. So I'm going to get it back anyways, and I'm going to go ahead and just do 2 dice as combat. And I got him. These are going to go in the exhaust. So I really want to keep that low. Or do I let the 1 stand? That way that I can get the 3 back with my other character. Yeah, I think I will let that stand. So he's only got 1 HP left. I'm not going to do that. And that's going to finish off my turn. Over to the other player. I get to recover the 3. And I'm just going to take a shot and see if I can take him out here. And I do. Good. That's what I was hoping for. And that way then both of my characters are doing pretty good there. All right. So that is going to be the end of that. And I'm going to get 3 experience points for that. So there's 3. And then I'm going to have 4 on my side here, which I think I'm just going to spend all of them right away to get another spot on my cooldown track. That seems to be pretty helpful. And then I'm up to 15 on that. All right, that is that. And I handled that, and that was an unstable event. So each one of my characters gets 2 tenacity because of that. We're both at 5 at this point, and then we recover 1 die and 1 health, which I am at 5, so I'll pick up 1 more. And he's at 5 as well, so I'm good there. And then I do have 3 experience points with him that I could spend. Let's see, Restorative Light. Do I have anything that can help there? So I could do Purge. So at any time you may exhaust this die to remove 1 status die from a party member and heal them for 1 HP. That could be pretty helpful. Or let's see, there's Breath of Life. Select an adventure in range and then roll X enemy combat dice. Heal that adventure for HP equal to the damage rolled. And that's going to be based on whatever I roll for it. I mean, at this point, I think that might be a good option to keep working on that, as I definitely need some of that. So I will do that. I'm going to spend the 3, and it's going to cost me all 3 to get the 2 extra dice. So I'm going to go ahead and do Purge. So that's the level 1. And then there's the Breath of Life. Yeah, there's 2 of those, so I'm just going to get 1 at the moment. Okay, and that is his turn, or rewards. And yeah, I think that's about it. So then it's going to, it is going to stay sunny. All right, so now let's see what happens with the enemy. 1, it is moving north. So I got lucky there. It can't go any farther north due to that. So I am good for day 12. Whew. All right, so day 12, I am in there and I'm going to handle that. All right, put these away. All right, so day 12, I was able to chase them down here, and I'm on unnatural selection, so I have this, and I have this. All right. Okay, I have 3 caches out there. I have 2 down here, and I have 1 up top here. And then I've got enemies. So I have 15 points, so that's going to be 30 points of enemies. So I'm going to have a 20 and a 10. Whew. All right, let's see what I pull here. All right, so let me make sure that I'm doing everything right here. So quest objective, travel to the tainted animals, initiate. Okay. Add the quest unit corrupted creature to the EP and deploy it first. All right. So, oof, that's a 4-pointer for damage. He can dish it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and that's going out into the number 1 slot. And then after deploying all units, roll a d6. Okay, and determine the effect below. So then the second unit, so this is going to be the 20-pointer. And it's a Storm Atronach. Native and Shatter. They all have that darn Shatter. Man. All right, 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 HP, and that's going to be down here. And then I have a 10-pointer. And the 10-pointer, if I can hold on to it, I could do the quest. All right, so this one is 5 points. 1, 2, okay. Is detection and elusive. Okay, and that is number 3, so it's going to go there. Okay, so all right, and then I have the same option, so I should have really held on to that thing for one of these. All right, and then I'm going to roll. And it's going to affect those 2. And it's a 4. So all enemies increase their combat stat by 2. Oh, man. So it's rolling 5 and 6 dice. Holy smokes. Luckily, they both are close combat characters or enemies. So I'm getting in there and doing some damage is going to be critical. Oh, my goodness. At least their combat or their defense is low. So he has cornered a native, so the native is going to be taking dice away. Luckily, it's sunny out, so he's only going to be able to take 1 away. And then cornered is... This unit deploys with an additional 2 HP for each undefeated adventure. So it's going to have 4 additional HP. Oh, my goodness. So... Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to really have to hammer this stuff hard. Kind of play keep away here. Okay. And then I got to remember that each one of them has 2 extra combat dice. Okay, and then during the active, okay. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that. All right, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so then it's my determining, or it's my go for deployment. Ugh. Yeah, I think I'm going to go first with this guy. So I'm going to go there. All right, so there is a way I can do this and still stay safe. So I'm going to do it like that. And I'm going to go ahead and start by going 1, 2, 3 here. So start my turn, and then I am going to go ahead and discard this here, and it's going to cost me all 5 of my tenacity points. And it says that I can discard one of the party's active side quests, then deal 10 damage to an adjacent non-quest enemy. So dealing 10 damage to him is going to take him out because he has 3 defense and 7 health. So that is going to eliminate him. So that was very important. And then I'm going to go ahead and move again. So going here, I'm going to go and try to solve that one. So 4, 4, 1. All right, so there's a 4. I'm going to roll these 2 again. There's the 1. And still a 2, so I could gain 2 fatigue to complete that. All right, so I have the discard this item, then adventurers may heal for a collective total HP equal to the amount of light fatigue in your cooldown track. Okay. Not too bad. All right, so that takes care of that one. And that is his turn. So from there, then I'm going to go with the high elf. So I'm going to go 1, 2. And I get to recover that. So I'm going to roll those 2. And I get a tenacity, which I'm already at the max of, and a movement of 3. So it doesn't really help me at all right now. All right, and I think that'll be it. I should have probably rolled, well, I can't because of where I was, because the other ones are stamina, right? Yep. Okay. So I think that's my turn for this round, and this guy has detection and elusive. So detection, this unit ignores stealth status dice when targeting, and elusive, this unit prevents all damage, including true damage, dealt by units that were not adjacent to it at the start of its current turn. All right, so that guy's brutal. So it is going to move 1, 2. And it does not have range, and then he's going to do the same, 1, 2. All right, and then it is my turn for 2. All right, so at this point I need to dump everything I possibly can into that guy there. So I'm going to move up 1, 2 and hit him. And I'm going to do my main attack. So it's going to give me 1 combat die plus the 2 for the 2 weapons I have, and then I'll add the 1 for the sword. And then I should probably go on defense here. So I'm going to roll this, and do I go with that? I think so. Let's see what happens with that. So I'll start off with this, and he has 1 defense. So I've got a really good shot at doing some damage here if I roll decent. And I didn't, of course. There's only one empty spot on this entire die, and I rolled 3 of them. All right, so I'm doing 3 damage to it with that, and those are going to go in active slots. And this will go in my cooldown track, so 3 damage. Okay, and then I want to roll these 2, gain a fatigue, and roll one of those. All right, so I pick up a tenacity for that. And I'm going to do 1 damage there, and then that one with the cross shields is deal 1 damage to your target for each 1 hand and shield die that you have trained. So I've trained 4. So I'm doing 5 damage there, so I'm going to do 4 to him. Okay. All right, then those will go in there. And that is pretty much everything I can do at this point. That was a pretty good round, though. Okay. So then it's going to go to the elf. At the beginning of my turn, I get to move 1, 2, 3, and then these go back. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the volley. And it is a hit, so I'm doing 4 damage. Distributed how I want to, so he's going to be gone. And I'm going to go there. This actually goes here. And I'm going to go into here and try to solve that. So I need a 5 first. I need all 5s. So nothing there. Second roll. Gain a fatigue for that one. So now I just need 3 more 5s. And final roll. Yeah, no. I'd have to gain quite a bit of fatigue. I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, would have been a poison. Okay. All right. And that is everything there. I do think I'm going to spend 3, 1, 2, 3 to give him 3 bonus HP. As that guy is going to hit like a tank here. Okay, so then it's the enemy's turn, so it's going to be rolling 5 dice. Yeah, and the enemy did not have a problem rolling all hits. So there's 2, so it's going to take those 2 away. And then it does 4 damage, so that is a ton of damage there. Okay. And then it is top of 3. All right. Goes to my turn. I get to recover. So I get that. Both of these. And I think I'm just going to go into defense. And just hope that I can hold the line. Two, 4, 5. Nice. Okay. And yeah, I'm good there. All right, so then it's over to the high elf to go. The high elf, I cannot target that guy because I'm not adjacent to him at the beginning of the turn. I do get to recover these two. I think I'm going to roll these two. And this one. Well, I can't do that because that's magic. So start with these. All right, so I'm going to get to move 4. And it's healing. And then I'll switch, gain a fatigue, and do this one. And I get to heal him for 2, so he's going to be back up to full health at least. All right, so that is my turn there. And then he's going to go, so he's rolling 5 again. All right, so a little better this time with 4 damage. So I'm going to take both of those down. That one stays there. Nothing else. So it is top of round 4. So I just got to hold on another round here. So it's my turn. I get to recover those. Okay. And I will swing with these 2. And I'm going to do 3 damage. And he soaks 2 of it, so there's that. And I will go ahead and do the honored duel to do another damage to him. So then it goes to the high elf to go. I could do a free move during my turn with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, which would let me heal, but I haven't taken any damage yet. And then move here to try to work on this one. 2 5s and a 6. Nothing on the first roll. There's a 6 on the second roll and final roll. Another 6 and a 1. Nope. So items are not in my favor for this particular run. All right, so nothing. And then I do have 2 more movement points. So I'm going to move there. And I still can't hit him. So that is my turn. And then it's over the enemy. So again, he's going to swing with 5. Hitting for 2, 4, 6, 8 damage. Oh my goodness. So I soak 4. Ouch. And I take 4. So I'm down to 2. Well, he literally could not have rolled any better almost. That was almost a perfect roll. All right, so then it is my turn. So, and it is top of 5. So at this point now, if I can drop him, I actually will complete that quest. So that's kind of, I was holding out a little bit for that, but woof. Okay. So let's go ahead and start off with these 3. And I gotta move into there. Wow. Okay, so 3 tenacity. I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 to do a damage to him because of the honored duel. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can do with that. So I will try to attack him again with these 2. Okay, so I'm going to do, what does that one do? That is deal 1 damage to your target for each 1-hand and shield die you have trained. That was the one that I needed. If I would have gotten the other one, that would have been really bad. So that would do 4, 5, 6 damage to him, and that's going to take him out. Okay. So those will go in the cooldown track. And that is the end of that. So then we are on to finding out what's going on with this. All right, so I have completed it, and I did complete that quest as well. So I was able to defeat the level 10 enemy on round 5 or later. So, and it is round 5. Okay, and I have to go to E4. So let's see what E4 is. D, E4. Okay, so E4 is up here. Whoop. All right. So after you've taken down the last of the animals, a consortium of mages is dispatched to your location. You serve as their escort as they seek to trace the corrupted plant matter back to its source. After a couple of solid days, the guild's diviners locates the earthen laboratory hidden beneath a towering tree that emits a faint glow. The crude workspace was recently been stripped of its valuable materials, but enough was left behind in the rushed exit to identify it as an outpost of a group called the Soldiers of the Void. Though this experiment with altering the nature of Blackmarsh's vital essence appears to have been unsuccessful, who's to say that this project's progenitor hasn't learned from their mistakes? All right, so in session 1, choose one of the following options. If you decide to further investigate the hidden labs in the region, select the Blackmarsh Outer Watch Quest 2 for Session 2. If you wish to tackle more natural mysteries for the guild, select the Valenwood Mages Guild quest for Session 2, requires the Valenwood expansion. And if your skill at tracking takes you down a darker path, select the Skyrim Dark Brotherhood quest Session 2. In Session 2, your investigation reveals that while the Soldiers of the Void have cleared out, something big is brewing within Blackmarsh. Your guild's deep pockets allow you to chase down new leads, and armed with fresh knowledge, you seek to confront these cultists before their machinations in Blackmarsh are unveiled. Proceed to the Blackmarsh endgame quest for Session 3. Okay, interesting. All right, so in Session 1, I have the 2 choices to either further investigate the hidden labs in the region or to tackle more natural mysteries for the guild, if I have the Valenwood expansion. So I think for Quest 2, I'll just take that first option. And so I do get 2 experience points for each one of them for completing that other quest. And then I also gain the keyword a Ruin Experiment. All right. And then I do bump that up 2 more, so I'm at 17. Whew. Well, that was a long mission, and it came right down to the last day. If you're still here watching, thank you so much for watching the video, and let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this one. Let me know if I did anything wrong, as this is still really early with some of the stuff, and there's a lot of different rules with this one. Let me know. I'm constantly learning new things, and it'll definitely help me for the teaching video that's coming shortly. And let me know in the comments down below as well if there's anything particular you would like to see in that, or would like covered specifically within those videos that might help explain some of this a little bit better as well. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.